You said that you love winning. What drives you more, the love of winning or the hate of losing?
Maybe equally, maybe both. I don't like losing, and I do like winning.
Say his name and he appears.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings and welcome to Winning Tonight. How's everybody doing out there this evening? I hope you're all doing and living well. Welcome to day one of the new golden age. It is upon us. Let me start by thanking all of those awesome Winner Circle members who support the channel on a monthly basis. Thank you so much. Your name is scrolling down there at the bottom of the screen. And you guys are part of the solution. Special thanks to Shelly and Wolfram, who also support us on a monthly basis over on Rumble. We are broadcasting live tonight on Rumble, X, and YouTube, and away we go. All right, guys, how's it going out there? You guys feeling it? You feeling the good times coming on? So many good things happening tonight. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a press conference at Winning Speed here that Trump did today. And we'll review that briefly. And then we'll get into reviewing the executive orders they signed on day one, and we will not get through all of them, so there'll be a part two. And what I've done is I've broken these up into different kind of baskets. We'll get to some of the highlights, some of the big ones, some of the initial ones he signed, and then we'll get into a little bit more specialized I guess specialized categories. And then on Thursday, we're going to do all the border, anything that has to do with the border, anything that has to do with anything, any of that is going to be going on Thursday. And that's just, there's so many of them to break them up, just to be able to give you a good explanation of each. It's going to take some time, but what's up out there? Hey, Heidi, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Thanks for telling everybody, reminding everybody what's up. Merry Christmas to Toy. Merry Christmas to you. Wolfram, my friend, how you doing? Thanks for dropping these links. And thank you for saying have fun, everybody. Hopefully you all have fun together. All right. Thank you for dropping these links. Remember, when you're here to always listen to the wolf, he knows what he's talking about. He wipes his paws, he lopes in, and he howls. And that's how you know the alpha mod is in the house. All right. Thank you so much for being here, each and every one of you. RB, hello, morning. Hello, RB. Good morning to you. And good evening to you as well. Yeah, you're pretty off today if you don't. Morning and evening. That's a good 12 hours off or more. All right. There's our hostess with the mostest, Shelly, talking trash and truth. She's over there welcoming in all the rumblers on the Rumble side, welcoming in the Xers on the X side, and welcoming in everybody here on YouTube side with big hugs and warm welcomes. Thank you, Shelly. There's never too much winning. Wolfram, I'm glad you feel that way, man. I'm glad you feel that way. Good evening, says T-Rex Trucking and more. Good evening, my friends. America is back, baby. We Trump has officially spent more time talking to the press in a day and a half than Biden did in 5 years. That's true. That's true. And he's going to show us exactly what that means here in just a minute as we get into the press conference and some big announcements coming out of that. Some recaps coming out of that as well, I think, which will set us up nicely to review the executive orders this evening. Now, I also do have some news and updates and stuff like that. So first of all, let me get this. This is hot off the presses. The presses. This one right here. Yeah. Hold this over here. I got everything. Oh, it's a lot of organization going on this evening here. So I guess maybe this will do it. It's only 21 seconds. We'll see. But it calls for one of these.
Breaking news, breaking news. Everybody loves breaking news.
Breaking news: President Trump just issued an unconditional pardon for the life sentence of Ross Ulbricht. I think did I say that right? Ulbricht. The guy. It's the guy calling the people who convicted him scum. Albright. Is that Albright? Can I just call him Albright? Was the founder of the dark web site Silk Road. He was convicted in 2015 for drug trafficking, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and computer hacking. Albright was sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 40 years. Jesus. It's sentenced worse than the worst drug sellers on the site. In his announcement, Trump drew comparisons between his situation and Albright. I just called his mother, the mother of Ross. Let's see.
On day 1, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served.
This is the Libertarian Conference.
He's already served 11 years.
Jesus.
We're going to get him home. On day
11 years. So there you go. Ulbricht. Okay. See, he said they said Albright right there. He said Ulbricht. He said it right. So they misquoted him. To let her know that in honor of her and the libertarian movement, which supported me so strongly, it was my pleasure to have just signed a full and unconditional pardon of her son, Ross. The scum that worked to convict him were some of the same lunatics who were involved in the modern day weaponization of government against me. He was given 2 life sentences plus 40 years. God bless, man. To be that young and to have that kind of sentence is, ugh. And he served 11 years of it already. 11 years of it already. Man, that is time you don't get back. So good on him. I'm glad he got freed. That was a little uncalled for right there. I think you guys would agree with that, wouldn't you? Would you? I bet you would. I bet you would. Ulbricht. I don't know. He's free. It's Ross Free now. Ross Free. That's his name. I'm sticking to it. All right. Let me get this queued up here. Man, so much to get through tonight. Another thing that happened today, and they did a church service, and basically this weirdo Episcopal, I don't know, they call him priests in Episcopalian. Anybody here Episcopalian? They call him, I don't know what they call him, bishop, a woke bishop, basically lectured them. And while I won't get into a lot of the, let me see here. I'm just going to kind of use this clip here to highlight. Okay, because I don't know who considers himself Episcopalian or not, or how committed they are to that. But I can just tell you this. I'm going to show you this clip, and FYI, Mark doesn't have the highest opinion of the Episcopal Church. But there you go. Let's listen in. I'm just going to use this for the sound bites, and then and the looks in the crowd from the president and the vice president and their families of shock when this person here starts going off and lecturing them.
I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
There's a damn signer in the corner.
There are gay,
we get rid of
lesbian,
those?
transgender children.
Can we sign an executive order to get signers off the air? I mean, People are like, you're mean to deaf people. No, I believe that people that are deaf can read. I believe they should be encouraged to read. And I don't believe that it's like if there is a language down at the bottom there, you don't know, we can't even check this lady to see if she's saying the right things, you know?
In Democratic, Republican, and independent families.
Remember that one guy who was a signer that just made shit up? He was like signing for Obama. He's just making shit up. That's hilarious.
Some who fear for their lives.
That's because of the fake news and fear-mongering from the liberal media and the social media industrial complex. Certainly isn't Donald Trump's fault, lady, or whatever your preferred pronouns are.
And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants.
This woman is not very informed, is she? She's like, again, this is called muddying the waters, basically, where she's trying to blend in everybody together under one terminology, when obviously we're going to go after the criminals and the people with criminal records, the people who shouldn't be here first. I mean, all of them that come here illegally, that came in illegally, shouldn't be here. But we're going to go after the criminals first. So the people that are being good citizens, or, you know, being good participants in our society, I should say, they probably won't be seeing any deportation right up front, and they'll have time to get their everything in order for themselves. Is lady a program? I don't know if lady's a pronoun or not. Let's see. She was dead wrong to do what she did, and she knows lefty active. Yeah, exactly. Lefty activism mouthpiece, and but also just so like misinformed about it. You know, so misinformed. So I'm not a Christian, but as someone that grew up Orthodox Jewish, the only Christian sect that makes any sense to me is Orthodox Church. The rest, especially Protestant, comes across as cultish. I hear you on that. So you're in the same camp with Joe Neerman and all them. I totally get that. So yeah, I hear you. That's just to me. Yeah, I understand, Arby. We welcome your insights for sure. Enya, what's up? Oh Lord, no! I caught some of this earlier. The best part is everyone's faces the crowd. Yeah, let's get to that.
Restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals. They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
And she just goes on and on and on with her liberal talking points. Here's a brief shot of the Trump family and J.D. Vance and his wife hearing this nonsense.
They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, Wadara, and temples.
Actually, I've never heard of a Jewish illegal alien before, so I don't think there are any illegal aliens.
Look at the looks they're getting.
The local temple.
Look at the looks they're giving.
From J.D. Vance says it all.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent.
What is this nonsense? Let's get the heck out.
Made by cultural Marxism and grooming. There you have it.
The Episcopal Church.
Okay, so that's what he's going to go off on. He's going to go off on that. But I just wanted to show you guys that that
it's
part
an abomination.
Of it. He doesn't like the Episcopal Church. He calls it an abomination. That's what he says. All right. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that happened today. I got some other stuff that I think that can wait. Yeah, I think the rest we got a lot to get through tonight. So I think the rest of this can wait till later. Maybe Thursday. It ain't going anywhere. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I had to sneeze. All right. Let me get this ready here. So we're gonna watch this
California.
Winning speed.
Goes all through California down to Los Angeles.
Be like, stop. Thank you. All right. And this starts off with an announcement. This is Trump's press conference from the day. It starts off with an announcement. And it's good news. So we have some stuff to talk about here with this announcement here, and then he kind of recaps everything that's going on, gets us all excited for the future. And hey, Memento Mori, what's up? How you doing? Good to see ya. Let's check it out. We're gonna go about right now.
Fun. But how about not having many?
Here you go.
Let's go to President Trump right now. Here he is live in Washington, D.C.
Back in his house.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Some very familiar faces. Well, thank you very much. And it's an honor to be here today. We have first full day as president. We're back. And we had a great first term, but we're going to have an even better second term. And I think we're going to do things that people would be shocked at. We're starting off with tremendous investment coming into our country at levels that nobody's really ever seen before. And they're very happy with the fact that I won the race and that they feel confident in their investments. And it's big money and high quality people. So my first day back from having a nice life, it's my honor to welcome three of the world's leading technology CEOs. And in the case of Larry Ellison, it's well beyond technology. He's sort of CEO of everything. He's an amazing man, an amazing business person. But to announce the largest AI infrastructure project by far in history, and it's all taking place right here in America. As you know, there's great competition for AI and other things, and they're coming in at the highest level. We're joined by Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, SoftBank CEO.
You remember him? He was the guy who he got him to go up on the money. So what he's going to announce here is this AI infrastructure deal that is something we definitely want to have going on. Definitely want to have going on if we want to compete with the rest of the world, especially places like China and other places that are, quickly adopting, right? We want to have all that business here. That's for sure. Because that's going to equal a lot more jobs, people transitioning out of their current technical roles into new ones. And then also have it here, which is going to keep it in our hands, keep it in our country's hands.
Friend Masa Yoshi-san, and CEO of OpenAI, and I would say by far the leading expert based on everything I read, Sam Altman. So that's great that you're coming in together. That's a massive group of talent and money. Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that.
Stargate's here, guys. Oh my goodness, Stargate's here. How many people out there in the grift universe are going nuts about the word Stargate? This is what their secret plot is. They're forming a Stargate, and the Stargate is going to use AI, and they're funding it, and they're going to bring Trump's going to bring demons here or some shit. Like they're going to go nuts, aren't they?
Name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States.
Yeah, right. At least they call it Skynet or
moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately. This monumental undertaking is a resounding declaration of confidence in America's potential under a new president. Let me be a new president. I didn't say it, they did. So I appreciate that, fellas. But it'll ensure the future of technology. What we want to do is we want to keep it in this country. China is a competitor and others are competitors. We want it to be in this country, and we're making it available. I'm going to help a lot through emergency declarations because we have an emergency. We have to get this stuff built. So they have to produce a lot of electricity, and we'll make it possible for them to get that production done very easily at their own plants if they want.
Par for the course, things he's been saying the entire time during his presidential run.
Where they'll build at the plant, the AI plant, they'll build energy generation, and that will be incredible. But it's technology and artificial intelligence, all made in the USA. Beginning immediately, Stargate will be building the physical and virtual infrastructure to power the next generation of advancements in AI, and this will include the construction of colossal data centers, very, very massive structures. I was in the real estate business. These buildings, these are big, beautiful buildings. Are going to employ a lot of people, and physical campuses and locations currently being scouted nationwide. They're making their choices of locations. I think they have their choice. I'd like to ask Larry, Sam, and Masa to say a few words and just talk about a little bit about what they're doing, and if you have any questions, and then we'll go into a couple of other subjects also. But this is, to me, a very big thing. $500 billion Stargate project, I think, is going to be something that's very special.
$500
It'll lead
billion
to something
coming in on day
that could be
one.
the biggest of all. So, Larry, maybe we'll
There's
start with
something
you.
we're gonna
and we'll
need.
go down the line. Thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. President. We certainly couldn't do this without you. It would simply be impossible. AI holds incredible promise for all of us, for every American. We've actually been working with OpenAI for a while and with Masa for a while. The data centers are actually under construction. The first of them are under construction in Texas. Each building's 500,000 square feet. There are 10 buildings currently, currently being built, but that will expand to 20 and other locations beyond the Abilene location, which is our first location.
Respectable leader.
The kind of applications that we're building, to give you an idea, maybe the most charismatic and the one that I think touches us all is electronic health records, not just maintaining electronic health records, but by looking at electronic health records, understanding the condition of the doctors, better understanding the condition of their patients, and being able to provide healthcare plans that are much better than they otherwise would be. A doctor at Indian River Reservation would be able to see how a doctor at Memorial Sloan Kettering would treat the patient, or a doctor at Stanford would treat the patient. We actually provide all of that information, all of that guidance to the doctors who are treating cancer patients or patients with any other kind of disease, made possible by AI. I'm not going to.
Yeah, and when AI started going off, and I had a show called Tech Reality Tuesdays with Space Power Monkey. We used to talk about that. We're like, man, this stuff's going to come in and it's going to help a lot in the healthcare and medical fields. First and foremost, it's going to go there. And when you think about the massive amount of computing that's going to be happening, things that we haven't been able to get our hands around and cure or take care of are managed correctly, we're going to have some help with that. And it's going to benefit a lot. I said the first benefits we're going to see are going to be rolled out in the healthcare industry, right, with all that stuff. So this just kind of like, they're going down that line of thought as well, connecting doctors and helping people with better treatments. And it goes off even more here.
It's going to take a lot of time. I'm going to pass it to Masa, but this is a very exciting program for Oracle to be a part of. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That's good. That's great. I feel tall now.
Look at that. They got him a little step stool.
Mr. President,
Roscoe, what's up?
Celebrate your
in the house
and promise that we will invest $100 billion. And you told me, oh, Masa, go for 200. Now I came back with 500.
He found a way to come back. He came back with more money. He goes, I'll go get some people to help me out here.
Because this is as you said yesterday, this is the beginning of golden age of America. This is one great example, I think, right? We wouldn't have decided to do this. This is the beginning of golden age. We wouldn't have decided unless you won. And yesterday we agreed, we signed to make this happen because of this day. So we would make this happen. We would immediately start deploying $100 billion with the goal of making $500 billion within next 4 years, within your term, right? Because of your success. So
yeah, it is.
We are very excited to do this. And our partner is, of course, SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, and additionally investing partner with MGX.
NVIDIA.
On top of that, we have the technology partner, NVIDIA.
You guys got to realize NVIDIA is key in all of this. I mean, NVIDIA is like key in all this. So, you know, they have to be on board, basically. They're so key that AI wouldn't even be happening without NVIDIA. I won't go too deep into that, but if you look into it, you'll figure that out.
And of course, Microsoft has been very supportive to Sam and continue to support all our success. This is not just for business. As Larry said, this will help people's life. This will help solving many issues, difficult things that otherwise we could not have solved with the power of AI. I think AGI is coming very soon. And then after that, that's not the goal.
Yeah,
after
GPU,
that, artificial super intelligence will come to solve the issues that mankind would never ever have thought that we could solve. Well,
this is the beginning of our golden age. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Fantastic.
Even he thinks it's a golden age.
I don't have too much to add, but I did want to say I'm thrilled we get to do this in the United States of America. I think this will be the most important project of this era. And as Masa said, for AGI to get built
There's
here,
OpenAI
to create
guy.
hundreds of thousands of jobs, to create a new industry centered here. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, Mr. President. And I'm thrilled that we get to. I think it'll be an exciting project. I think we'll be able to do all of the wonderful things these guys talked about. But the fact that we get to do this in the United States is I think, wonderful. So thank you very much.
Could you just say one word? I hear so many positive things about what it's going to do for medical research and for solving things, cancer and all the different problems. How will AI help us with the fight against the various problems, diseases, etc.?
These guys can maybe share more about some of the work they're doing there. I think they'll jointly be some of the leaders about driving progress here. But I believe that as this technology progresses, we will see diseases get cured at an unprecedented rate. We will be amazed at how quickly we're curing this cancer and that one and heart disease, and what this will do for the ability to deliver very high quality healthcare, the costs, but really to cure the diseases at a rapid rate, I think will be among the most important things this technology does.
And honestly, everybody should be pretty much okay with this, right? We've been watching Star Trek for years, and all these other sci-fi movies where the people in them are getting these fast cures for their injuries and problems and whatnot. And no one ever got offended by those movies. So when it becomes a reality, probably going to be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd rather live. People will choose life. They will choose better qualities of life. They will embrace the technology. That's why I think like when people talk about this transhuman movement, transhumanist movement and whatnot, it's a little bit I mean, there may be people who believe that they are going to I've heard this is an Alex Jones thing. He always was like, people they're going to merge with machines and leave us all behind and all that stuff like that. And I'm always like, well, if you just take away the agenda itself, that they don't get to that part, right? So as long as they don't get control, they'll never be able to do that. However, you're not going to stop. You're not going to. We've never. I mean, I don't think people have ever decided that we're going to stop. Not. I want to call it merging with machines because it's not really that, but using technology to save lives and to extend their own life, right? I don't think anybody ever agreed that that was a bad thing and that our technology and the way we're using it wasn't going to be like that. People have turned that into a fear of control, which I understand. I mean, because we've had a distrustful world. We were born into a world of deceit. I get where they're coming from. But if you look at it, if you scale it back to like kind of like what they're talking about here, in a sense that it comes down to individual treatment and that, there's no mass assembly line that's going to happen like a board collective or something like that, where people are going to be forced into this. I know there was a lot of fear behind people being forced chipped. I get that. That doesn't sound very fun. And we can never, that's why we have to always hold on to our rights. So our rights protect us from those things. And as long as we don't have an authoritarian government over top of us, manufacturing consent of some and then forcing that onto others through a 50-50 kind of thing, we'll be okay from that. But I'm telling you, people that are out there in the crowd right now, hey, MLS, what's up, my friend? How you doing, dude? Oh, good, man. I'm happy to hear that. Isn't it a great book? I'm glad that you got that and that you're enjoying it. Yeah, J. Michael Waller is amazing, and man, it really does fill in the gaps, doesn't it? It really does. I'm glad you like that. I'm glad you're enjoying the book, man. We're reading Government Gangsters by Cash Patel right now. We're about halfway through it on the show. But awesome, dude. Good to see you, and happy New Year, and happy if I haven't seen you since then, and happy inauguration. We got Trump in there, man. Things are already starting to turn around. So onward and upward, and best of luck to you as well. I love the story about him being an unintentional mule running money across the border. I'm just getting into it. Yeah, the book starts off like a spy novel, doesn't it? It's pretty interesting. Yeah, happy Trump Day for sure. Yeah, we're going to be going through some of the we're going to go through about 14 of the executive orders tonight after we get through this press conference right here. And it's really good to see you, dude. Really good to see you.
Great. Very good. Thank you.
But yeah, to wrap up what I was saying, that, if you have a loved one that's hurting, and AI technology, I mean, people have pacemakers, people have things, mechanics in them already. I mean, the adoption of this is never, I think, gonna end, because if we can improve the quality of our lives, our biological lives, through technology, and we can cure diseases, and keep our loved ones around longer, save people's lives that have gone through unfortunate events, through the use of technology, who's going to say no to that? Mm. Because of someone puts a transhumanist label on it. That's kind of like, okay, well, you can put that in the cult section, right? You put that over there in the cult section with the the elitist cult, whatever. Maybe it's true. Maybe they've hinted at it. Maybe they think that that's what they're gonna do. But all you got to do is just take away their power and stop their agenda for them to never realize that. So, I mean, you can say, yeah, well, that's their personal beliefs, but don't put a smear on all of the biotech and the advanced technologies, life extension technologies that are going to come out, because most of them are going to be used in good ways for good people, and that's what we have to focus on. And then through holding on to our rights and understanding our liberty and fixing the subversion issue on a generational level, we can defend against the rest, right? That's what solution culture is about. That's what the generational fight is about, right? It's about undoing subversion so that the bad guys can never get in control and do those horrible things. So that's where the real fight is. I mean, but I'm not against technology. I'm not against advanced medical technologies, and I hope that they're used in a good way, and I hope they're used to go back and fix some of the sloppiness in some of the other technologies we have right now. I think AI can help us do that. But we also don't realize that it's coming a lot of times when you hear these things. I mean, everything we ever saw in a movie or whatnot was like, there was an AI behind that medical fix that, Bones McCoy was doing, or whoever your favorite star sci-fi doctor is, right? But there was an AI behind that. We just, well, okay, cool. And then so we like that instant fix, man. Instant pain relief, instant fix, and then instant repair, and back to as good as new, as good as possible. I mean, even Luke's mechanical hand seemed to be just fine, right? Just put a little glove on, you're good. Yeah, but anyways, I think that people are going to have more benefits than worry about this. And as long as we stay vigilant on the fight to remain free, we don't have to worry about a little cult of elitists who want to merge with the machine. Go ahead, merge with the machine. The rest of us are gonna be out here having a good time.
So we're currently working on. Should I step on this? Okay. All right. No. I'm not that tall. I'm not that tall. Thank you, Mr. President. One of the most exciting things we're working on, using the tools that Sam and Masa are providing, is a cancer vaccine. It's very interesting. It turns out, I'll be quick, all of our cancers, cancer tumors, little fragments of those tumors float around in your blood. So you can do early cancer detection. If you can do it using AI, you can do early cancer detection with a blood test. And using AI to look at the blood test, you can find the cancers that are actually seriously threatening the person. So we can, again.
Look at that home gym. That home gym looks nice, doesn't it? So yeah, they're saying basically with the AI detection, you can find cancers that are particular to you, that are floating around your blood system.
Cancer diagnosis using AI has the promise of just being a simple blood test. Then beyond that, once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again, using AI in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that vaccine available in 48 hours. This is the promise of AI and the promise of the future.
I don't know about all that. Right? Yeah, that's yeah, say that. Yeah, I think we all had the same reaction to that, right? Same reaction to that. So yeah, no more. Yeah. But we'll see what they're talking about here. obviously, there's other things they can do with AI, but yeah, I'm not into the. I mean, like I said, if they could, I don't want any more of this mRNA bullshit that's proven to be completely, uh, completely troublesome. Say, um, but if they can get back to something more natural and less troublesome, that will yeah, I hear that. Yeah, if we can detect it early and do something about it. But I mean, they're gonna have a hard. I mean, literally, they're gonna have a hard sell on that. At mRNA, they're gonna have a hard sell on that. I don't know that that's gonna be the ultimate. It may just be where he's coming from at this point. Let's hope that it evolves in a much better way than what we're hearing right here. But this isn't what the whole program's about. This is just one aspect of it, and it's supposed to, it sounds good. It's going to sound good because think about there's a lot of other diseases that we can't cure right now or we can't deal with right now that the additional intelligence that AI can offer us can help us maybe perhaps do something about those. This is what mRNA is supposed to be for. It was misused for the COVID vaccine, but it is an amazing technology for fighting cancer. Program a virus to attack specific cells, but mRNA was not ready. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're probably going to need to rebrand it, honestly, but see, nobody wants anything to do with that, especially Shelley. She wants nothing to do with that. And I want her to have nothing to do with it. So, but yeah, if T-Rex is onto something here that was misused for this Wuhan flu, then it could have a redemption arc, say. But here's the thing, it won't be mass distributed and won't be mass rushed out. So it's not like all of a sudden everybody's going to line up and get this and line up and get that. It's going to be a slow roll. People are going to watch, people are going to see. And if it turns out to be improved and used correctly and with no side effects, then then we might be on to something. But as far as what we got right now, nope. Ain't gonna, like I said, it's gonna be, and this is talking about an individual basis, right? It's not talking about a mass forced situation like we dealt with, and a coerced situation. This is going to be down to the individual to make the decision with no pressure and as an option, perhaps. I don't know. This is a press conference,
Great, thanks. Yeah, just 1 second. We'll finish up. But these are highly respected guys. I was shocked with Larry because I don't even think Larry does this stuff. You did a very good job for a guy that doesn't do it much, right? But he's so respected, and the group, and it's really an honor. But for Larry to be here and do this is very unusual because he doesn't do this stuff. He doesn't need it. He does, and you don't need it, do you? Huh? You don't need it. But I think it's an honor to the country. It's a great honor that this group, these are the top people, that they're going to do it, and they're going to do it here, and we're going to make it as easy as it can be. A $500 million Stargate project comes in addition to a separate pledge between $100 and $200 billion from, as we know, from Masa that we talked about before. Also $20 billion from DMAC, which was great, and we have many others that are coming. Some I just announce it. It's easier, but with some I know them, and they're so highly respected. I'd rather do it this way. Many would like to do it this way, but we're letting the world know what's happening. This is money that normally would have gone to China or other countries, but in particular China. In total, before the end of my first full business day in Washington in the White House, we've already secured nearly $3 trillion of new investments in the United States, and probably that's going to be 6 or 7 by the end of the week. Tremendous amounts of money are coming in for many things other than even AI. AI seems to be very hot. It seems to be the thing that a lot of smart people are looking at very strongly. And our country will be prospering like never before. I think that's true. And it's going to be the golden age of America. As I say, yesterday we had the most ambitious, action-oriented day of any administration in history. No, there's never been a first day like yesterday, as you know. I signed a sweeping slate of executive orders to stop the invasion of our borders. I launched a government-wide effort to defeat inflation and bring down the cost of daily life and bring down the cost of energy magnificently.
Talk about a lot of those tonight.
And when energy comes down, Larry, I'd say generally speaking, when energy comes down, everything else comes down.
That's going to help out the most.
The food and the prices of everything else come down. Energy is that's the big baby. And we declared a national energy emergency to drill, baby, drill, our term that we use. We're going to drill, baby, drill like never before. We ended destructive DEI mandates across the federal government and returned our country to a merit-based system and a common sense system. As you know, the Supreme Court gave us a decision on merit, where things in this country can be based on merit now instead of a lot of different rules, regulations, and things that really put our country at a big disadvantage. We permanently stopped government censorship and restored free speech. That was signed yesterday. We were renamed the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. Sounds so beautiful. The Gulf of America.
Go buy your new maps.
And returned the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley. They took off the name. And he was actually a great president. He was a very, very successful businessman. He ran for governor of Ohio. He won and did a great job as governor, ran for president, and he won. He was assassinated ultimately in his second term, unfortunately. But he was the tariff king, and I don't think he was as bad as I am. I think I believe in him even more than him, but he believed in him very strongly. And he raised massive amounts of money. Our country was at its richest from 1870 to 1913. We had the most. That was when we were the richest, relatively speaking. We were the richest during that period of time. That was tariffs from other countries. And our administration's moving with unprecedented urgency and speed to confront every single crisis facing us. And we'll get.
Quick update. Google has not updated their maps yet. It's still the Gulf of Mexico on their maps. So they'll have to get that fixed right away.
Get the job done. And again, I want to thank Sam and Masa and Larry for being here. It's an honor to have them. And we'll take a few questions if you want.
The executive orders, you would agree that it's never acceptable to assault a police officer.
Sure.
Right? So then if I can, among those who pardoned DJ Rodriguez, he drove a stun gun into the neck of a DC police officer who was abducted by the mob that day. He later confessed on video to the FBI and pleaded guilty for his crimes. Why does he deserve a pardon?
Well, I don't know. Was it a pardon? Because we're looking at commutes and we're looking at pardons. Okay, well, we'll take a look at everything. But I can say this. Murderers today are not even charged. You have murderers that aren't charged all over. You take a look at what's going on in Philadelphia. Take a look at what's going on in LA, where people murder people and they don't get charged. These people have already served years in prison, and they've served them viciously. It's a disgusting prison. It's been horrible. It's inhumane. It's been a terrible, terrible thing. I also say this: you go to Portland, where they wrapped police officers, shot police officers. Nothing happened to anybody. You go to Seattle, where they took over a big chunk of the city and people died. Portland, a lot of people died. Wait a minute. And you go also take a look at Minneapolis, because I was there and I watched it. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city wouldn't even exist today. People were killed and nobody went to jail. So these people have already served a long period of time. And I made a decision to give a pardon. Joe Biden gave a pardon yesterday to a lot of criminals. These are criminals that he gave a pardon to. And you should be asking that question. Why did he give a pardon to all of these people that committed crimes? Why did he give a pardon to the J6 Unselect Committee when they burned and destroyed all documents which showed that they did what was wrong, not me? Wait a minute. Why did they give a pardon to all of his relatives? His brother, who made millions of dollars, to all these different people, he gave pardons. That's the question you should be answering. All right, go ahead. Yeah, please.
Can I follow up that really fast?
No.
I just want to ask
Go
you
ahead.
this. You said
Tell us about your meeting with Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune. Did you reach any conclusion on this one big?
Pretty much. I think we have a good situation now. It's been in some ways made simpler by Los Angeles because they're going to need a lot of money. And generally speaking, I think you'll find that a lot of Democrats are going to be asking for help. So I think maybe that makes it more one-sided. I think we're going to do very well. Look, we're going to take care of Los Angeles. I'm going there. I'm going to North Carolina, which has been abandoned by the Democrats. And I'm going to North Carolina, very importantly, first. I'll be there on Friday. And then I'm going from there to
get the job
Los
done.
Angeles,
North Carolina, the president's on
Nevada,
the way.
And I'm really going to Nevada to thank them for the vote, because we won Nevada overwhelmingly, and that's usually a Democrat vote. And I just want to go there to thank the people of Nevada for the big vote. So we'll be making that. Yeah, please.
Look at that.
The leaders of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers were free following their pardons yesterday. At the time back in 2021, you urged them to stand back and stand by. Is there now a place for them in the political conversation?
Well, we have to see. They've been.
What the hell kind of question is that? What the hell kind of question is that? The Proud Boys were formed as a reaction to Antifa. Like, if you understand these groups and who they are and what their origins are and what they really do out there, all right, just throw out all the J6 framing, right? They got roped into or whatever it was. They wanted to take these groups down because what did these groups do? They ran protection against the Antifa groups, right? That's their strong arms under proxy armies, right? So, and they were effective. Oath Keepers, started by Stuart Rhodes back in the Ron Paul days, was a collection of retired and active sheriffs who believed in their oath to the Constitution. There was a lot of talk back in those days about the power of the sheriff and how, we were trying to figure out what we are going to do about this corrupt establishment. This is before we knew Trump was going to be like this, and we had any idea that this is what was coming, right? We were still trying to work with what we had. And so as a reaction to the unfairness that was in the unconstitutional actions that police were being directed to undertake on behalf of the establishment, right, against patriots, the Oath Keepers were formed as a protective group, another protective group to watch at rallies and to ensure that constitutional rights of patriots were not being violated by authority. There you have it. You know the history of both of these groups and what they actually stand for and how they came about. They both came about as a reaction to the actions of the corrupt establishment. So that's why they don't like them. That's why they painted them in this picture and turned them into these radical alt-right militia groups and all that shit, right? It's because they know that they are in direct conflict with their proxy armies, right? That's why they don't like them.
Given a pardon, I thought their sentences were ridiculous and excessive. One of the guys took down a flag that was an anti-American flag, and he was given years in jail. I don't know the exact number, but he was given many years
it was
in
totally
jail.
leading.
I thought it was
That's
very
bullshit.
excessive. And at least the cases that we looked at, these were people that actually
right.
love our country. So we thought a pardon would be appropriate. Yeah.
Mr. President, is it also true in your conversations with Republicans today that you asked them to consider recess appointments for cabinet officials?
I think, yeah, if it's needed. I don't think it's going to be needed. Marco, as you know, got passed.
I hope not. I'll let him finish in a second. He's gonna go on about Marco. But I've been keeping an eye on the calendar because, as you know, we have more cabinet cabinet hearings to go through, right? And we're gonna take the big ones on, right? We're gonna do Kash Patel. We're gonna do RFK Jr. We're gonna do Tulsi Gabbard, right? Tulsi Gabbard, sorry. And but I keep looking and they keep getting pushed down. Like, they're not even scheduled yet. Like, I'm looking, if anybody else has seen anything about these, let me know. But I have not seen any of these. So they're really dragging their feet. One of the executive orders we're going to go through tonight is about counteracting one of the counters that we heard from J. Michael Waller talk about on his interview with Tucker Carlson about deep state plans for 2024 and Trump's second term, which is a great stream that continues to get views because it's a great interview. But he said in that interview that one of the things they're going to do is try to slow walk-in security clearances and things like that, install cabinet appointments, and do things of that nature. So we're keeping an eye on that. But yeah, Trump is already out in front of at least that one. A lot of veterans and the Oath Keepers as well. That's true. Roscoe Treat, I am met Proud Boy members, and you met Proud Boy members in Boise, Idaho, when I was fighting side by side with 2,000 strong patriots during the 2020 Summer of Chaos. They were cool cats. We took BLM and Antifa to school. Hell yeah, Roscoe. Go, man, go. Yeah, that's what they're there for. They're there to say, oh yeah, you want to bring that cowardly shit out here and destroy towns and attack innocent people? We'll take you on. That's what they're about. That's who they are. I mean, there's a lot of groups that they try to merge them in with, and we all know that. And tell you, just to let you know the character of the Proud Boys, right? Their arch enemy, more than Antifa right now, is Patriot Front. Patriot Front, that's the alt-right. That's the neo-Nazi alt-right. They mush in with the rest of us, right? They try to, because they're on the right, they must be part of this group. No, that's the Marxist right. I talk about the Marxist left-right paradigm. That's the Marxist right, not the American right. And said that they play that little word game too, that little mind control game with us too. But no, they often show up to events, and again, Proud Boys are one of the groups that will go confront them and run them off when they try to create the negative optics that they do for our side.
Overwhelmingly with 99-0, which is pretty amazing. Marco's going to do a great job, Secretary of State, but he just got, I guess he was the first one and just got approved.
Yeah, he literally got approved that day. Like, and then I was looking down the schedule too, and other people like have to have a different meeting to consider the nomination. So like, so Marco got, like, I guess they just know whether or not, well, look, nobody really is opposed to it, so we don't need to have this other committee meeting. Let's just go ahead and vote now. In other cases, they're like, nope, I got a problem with it. We got to have another meeting about it. Okay. And that's like from a lot of the guys, so a lot of people Hegseth and Bissett, other ones I've seen on here on the schedule. Sorry for the bright light. I hate the bright light. Doug Collins of Georgia is going to be our Secretary of Veteran Affairs. Doug Collins is awesome. I love Doug Collins. I'm sorry that he isn't still here in Georgia working for us. But yeah, that's what they're doing here. So, and I'm still looking, and there is no schedule of events for the featured cabinet members we're going to be covering. I'll keep an eye on it. If you guys hear anything, let me know.
That's some vote, 99-0, and the nothing was a vote that he would have gotten if we wanted to do it. But you know whose vote that was? Who's doing a great job right now as vice president?
You also talk about some sort of a trade or a deal involving wildfire relief in extension for a debt.
Well, what I really want to have done, I was talking about this with the guys back in the Oval Office. Los Angeles has massive amounts of water available to it. All they have to do is turn the valve, and that's the valve coming back from and down from the Pacific Northwest, where millions of gallons of water a week and a day, even in many cases, pours into California, goes all through California down to Los Angeles, and they turned it off. It's off now. The valve it turns toward the Pacific Ocean, and all that water goes pouring into the Pacific Ocean. If they did what I told them to do, they wouldn't do it because politically they didn't think it was good. I think it's great politically. I think they're dead politically. What they've done, they've destroyed the city. What they've done to that city is unbelievable. The sprinklers, their sprinklers in there like these right here that you see, none of them had any water in them. They didn't have any water. The fire hydrants, 40% of them had no water. The brush was just dry. Everything was dry. The sprinklers on the lawn weren't allowed to even be used. So, everything was dry, and it was an inferno. They created an inferno. So we're demanding that they turn the valve back toward Los Angeles right now. It's not even believable that they haven't done it. Just so you know, they have a valve, and it turns like, think of a sink, but multiply it times many thousands of times the size of it. It's massive. And you turn it back toward Los Angeles. Why aren't they doing it? They either have a death wish, they're stupid, or there's something else going on that we don't understand. But we want the water that they're throwing away to be used for California. And that includes the farmers of California. When you drive up north, you see all of the land. I couldn't believe it. I was with Devin Nunes when he was a congressman and some other congressmen from the area, and we're driving up and we're on the highway, and I keep looking at these farms, and the land is bone dry. And then you'd see about an acre or 2 acres with the most beautiful green plants growing in it, the most beautiful it's a rich stuff. And you look at the soil and it's so rich. That soil is almost the equivalent to like Iowa soil. It's phenomenal. It's got no water. But the reason it has no water, I said, do you have a drought? No. I said, what do you mean you don't have a drought? Look at the thing. It's dry as a bone. The reason you have like an acre is because they say you can farm 1 acre, but no more, because they didn't want to waste water. But they throw the water into the Pacific Ocean. These people are crazy. So we're going to be issuing an executive order demanding that they immediately let that water come down through California. Farmers, even people living in Beverly Hills. Now, those people have been, a lot of them are wiped out. Believe it or not, they were having restrictions, Larry, you know about this. They wanted to restrict you to 38 gallons of water a day. That sounds like a lot, but it's not. When you're a rich person and you like to take a shower, 38 gallons doesn't last very long. And they have all this water, and it's really good water. Up high, Pacific Northwest. Some comes in from Canada, a nice country, by the way. comes in from Canada, and it comes all the way through California, and they're restricting it. You even have the half pipes, the half pipes, the cut pipes, big ones, bigger than this room, and they're going all the way down, and they're bone dry, and they could be loaded up with water. No, but isn't it incredible that they don't do it? And it's to protect the Delta smelt. It's a fish that's doing poorly anyway. But I said, how are you protecting the Delta smelt by not giving it water? It's a fish. It needs water. Nobody can answer that question. Well, let me do this first.
Are you open to Elon buying TikTok?
Say,
Are you open to Elon buying TikTok?
I would be if he wanted to buy it, yeah.
On your inauguration.
I'd like Larry to buy it too. I have the right to make a deal. So the deal I'm thinking about, Larry, let's negotiate in front of the media. The deal I think is this, and I've met with owners of TikTok, the big owners. It's worthless if it doesn't get a permit. It's not like, oh, you can take the US. The whole thing is worthless. With a permit, it's worth like $1 trillion. So what I'm thinking about saying to somebody is buy it and give half to the United States of America, half, and we'll give you the permit. And they'll have a great partner, the United States. And they'll have something that's actually more valuable because they have the ultimate partner, and the United States will make it very worthwhile for them in terms of the permits and everything else. But so think of it, you have an asset that has no value or has $1 trillion value. It all depends on whether or not the United States gives the permit. So what I'm saying is let the United States give the permit.
What do you guys think of that?
The United States should get half. Sounds
Nacho Kitty, what's up? How you doing? What do you guys think of that? I guess we're moving to TikTok. Can I stream to TikTok? To TikTok? Do they have streaming over there? Recess appointments. Yeah, I mean, if they don't move things along, that's what you got to do, right? Get Cash in there. Cash needs to go do his job, man. He's got a lot of work to do. Nacho Kitty, what's up? How you doing? I see you there. Saying hi to Heidi. I mean, suddenly you might want to invest again. Yeah, well, thank you. Well, thank you, Roscoe. They do have streaming. You can stream the TikTok. Okay. Can you only stream for like 2 minutes? Maybe I need to start looking at opening up a TikTok for the channel. Never thought I'd say that. We do some dancing around here. I mean, we got dances that we got all kinds of dances, man. We got the Veiled Rouge. There we go. So I want to do that, shake my whole desk. But yeah, we got dancing. We can get even more dancing. In fact, we need some new dancing here. I'll get motivated and do some new dancing stuff here. We'll get the not for nothing dancers together and teach them some new dance moves, right? That's what we need. Hey, Nacho Kitty, what's up? Holding down over there on the Rumble side with Heidi and Shelly and Jacob Castro, who'll come swinging in on a chandelier here any second. And by the way, Rumble, we're up to 605 over there. Guys, please make sure that you, all of you guys over there, hit thumbs up, because that's the way Rumble works. You need to be part of the making it happen over there, guys. Counting on you to hit that thumbs up, because even more than YouTube, I guess much more than YouTube, 100% more than YouTube, thumbs ups can't matter on Rumble. So even if you're just swinging through, put one in there for the cause, man. The cause of truth, liberty, and freedom. The cause of solution culture. The cause of a platform to rival YouTube, hopefully one day, maybe. So do it for that. Do it for that reason. Help the creators like myself get noticed and get up there with the big guys who have the contracts and all that stuff. But anyways, you can cut your stuff into clips and post it. Are you applying for a job? TikTok allows up to 10-minute videos, and you can post them as landscape if you upload using the website. Do people respond well to those kind of things over there? Are they all like, I need quick little weirdo videos of people dancing, and that's all I can stand? I don't know. I think people over there are kind of programmed to their style. I don't know. I have to look into it more. We'll see.
Reasonable. What do you think?
Sounds like a good deal to me, Mr. President.
Yeah. He can afford it too.
Mr. President, you're a president who has long said that you back the blue, but aren't you sending the message that assaulting officers is okay with these pardons?
No, the opposite. In fact, I'm going to be letting two officers from Washington Police, D.C. I believe they're from D.C., but I just approved it. They were arrested, put in jail for 5 years because they went after an illegal, and I guess something happened where something went wrong, and they arrested the two officers and put them in jail for going after a criminal, a rough criminal, by the way. And I'm actually releasing. No, I am the friend of police, more than any president that's ever been in this office.
More than 400 of the people that you pardoned, though, assaulted officers. So I want to ask you about the Vice President, J.D. Vance. He said, this is a week ago, he said, if you committed violence on January 6th, obviously you should not be pardoned. Why is your Vice President wrong?
Well, only for one reason. They've served years in jail. They should not have served, and they've served years in jail, and murderers don't even go to jail in this country. And we had 1,500. We have 16 under review. As you know, we commuted about 16 of them because it looks like they could have done things that were not acceptable for a full pardon. But these people have served years of jail. Their lives have been ruined. And in many cases, listen to me for a second. Stop interrupting. They've served years in jail. And if you look at the American public is tired of it. Take a look at the election.
Yes,
just look at the numbers on the election. We won this election in a landslide because the American public is tired of people like you that are just one-sided, horrible people in terms of crime. You don't talk about all the people that have been killed and what happens to those murderers. Murderers get no time. You take a look at some of these DAs. They go after political opponents, but they don't go after people that shoot people in the street. They're caught. They know where they're living. They know everything. They don't even go up to pick them up anymore. They just let them live there. They know all about it. They have their pictures. They have the tape of the shooting, and they don't even go up and you're talking about this. No, we pardoned people that were treated unbelievably poorly. In the history of our country, there's never been anything take place like this. They're still looking for them. Everybody. We are, though, and we're getting them out of the country. We just started that. We're getting them out of the country, and they're going to be gotten out of the country fast. They came in illegally from jails and from prisons. They killed many people. Some of them killed many people. About 50% of them killed more than one person. They were released into our country. That's what we're focused on, not the kind of nonsense you're talking about.
Yep. You called for a ceasefire in Ukraine. If Vladimir Putin doesn't come to the table to negotiate with you, will you put additional sanctions on Russia?
Sounds likely.
And do you think that the war should be frozen currently along
the war should have never started. If you had a competent president, which you didn't, the war wouldn't have happened. The war in Ukraine would have never happened if I were president.
That's right.
That couldn't happen because the election was rigged. Yeah, go ahead.
President, there's been some debate within your orbit over whether or not to keep or eliminate H-1B visas. What's your position on that? Do you want to keep H-1Bs or do you want to get?
Well, I like both sides of the argument, but I also like very competent people coming into our country, even if that involves them training and helping other people that may not have the qualifications they do. But I don't want to stop. And I'm not just talking about engineers. I'm talking about people at all levels. We want competent people coming into our country. And HB1, I know the program very well. I use the program. Maitre d's, wine, experts, even waiters, high quality waiters. You got to get the best people. Now, then you go into people like Larry, and he needs engineers, and Massa needs, and this gentleman needs engineers like nobody's ever needed engineers, right? So we have to have the quality people coming in. Now, by doing that, we're expanding businesses, and that takes care of everybody. So I'm sort of on both sides of the argument, but what I really do feel is that we have to let really competent people, great people come into our country, and we do that through the H-1 program.
To impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico in an effort to force negotiations sooner on USMCA?
No, it's really not on USMCA. It has nothing to do with that. They've allowed, both of them, Canada very much so, they've allowed millions and millions of people to come into our country that shouldn't be here. They could have stopped them, and they didn't. And they've killed 300,000 people last year, my opinion, have been destroyed by drugs, by fentanyl. The fentanyl coming through Canada is massive. The fentanyl coming through Mexico is massive, and people are getting killed, and families are being destroyed. I mean, the son gets killed, and the family is a basket case for the rest of their lives. I mean, I've seen mothers that thought they'd heal. They never heal. They say it gets worse with time. It gets worse with time. They lose their boy. They lose their baby. They lose their young daughter to fentanyl poisoning. And I had that talk with President Xi the other day, too, of China. I said, we don't want that crap in our country. We got to stop it. I would have stopped it. I had a deal with him where he was going to give the maximum penalty, which in China is the death penalty for drug dealing. And he was all said he was going to give the maximum penalty to fentanyl dealers. If they send it to the United States, they were going to get the death penalty. And of course, Biden didn't pick that up. I had that deal all done. It was all wrapped up. We were going to have it done. And then the election went, let's put it nicely, it didn't go the proper way. I'm trying to be nice about it. It was rigged. And we had an incompetent president elected, and he never followed up on that deal. But he should have followed up, because if they got the death penalty, they wouldn't be sending fentanyl to Mexico, Canada, and other places.
How much will the
We're thinking about that too. We're talking about a tariff of 10% on China based on the fact that they're sending fentanyl to Mexico and Canada.
How soon on those tariffs?
Probably February 1st is the date we're looking at. For Mexico and China, we're talking about approximately 25%.
Date on the Gaza ceasefire, and are you planning to travel to the Middle East soon?
We're thinking about going to the Middle East, not yet. We have a thing called the hostages are coming back going on right now, and they are coming back. Some of them have been very damaged. You look at the young lady with her hand practically blown off. You know how that happened, right? Did you know how that happened? When you find out, you're not going to be too happy because it was terrible. But the hostages are starting to come back. If I weren't here, they wouldn't be back ever. They would have never come back. They would have all died. If this were done a year earlier, if Biden would have done this deal a year and a half, 2 years ago, or frankly, it should have never happened. October 7th should have never happened. Nobody should be dead. But through weakness, they allowed it to happen, and then it was a disaster from them. But you go back just 6 months ago, many of these young people were living. Young people don't die like that. They're just dying. And young people aren't dying at 22 and 23 years old. They don't die. But now they're dying, and you wonder why they're dying. They're being killed, and they have been killed. But they say 6 months ago, you would have had 11 more living hostages. Think of that, 6 months ago. But Biden couldn't get it done, and it was only the imposition that I put on as a deadline
in the show
that got it done. But it's a very sad situation. It should have never happened. I'll tell you, 2 things should have never happened. 3 things. Inflation should have never happened. It would have never happened except for what they did to energy and their crazy spending. And Ukraine would have never happened. Never. By the way, Russia never would have gone into Ukraine. I had a very strong understanding with Putin that it would have never, ever happened. He disrespected Biden. Very simple. He disrespects people. He's smart. He understands. He disrespected Biden. And also, the Middle East would have never happened because Iran was broke. They had no money. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. It would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. But it did happen. So this is the cards that have been given.
We're almost there.
And we're getting the hostages back. That would have never happened under Biden. They would have never come back. They were just dying not that slowly. They were dying or being killed. But that was what was happening.
So are you going to keep sending weapons to Ukraine, or are you going to turn off the tap soon?
Well, we're looking at that. We're talking to Zelensky. We're going to be talking with President Putin very soon, and we'll see how it all happens. We're going to look at it very soon. One thing I do feel—
Putin did come out and congratulate him and said that, this administration's open to having conversations. The other administration shut the door on negotiations. So it could happen really fast.
The European Union should be paying a lot more than they're paying, because under Biden, I mean, we're in there for $200 billion more. Now, it affects them more than it affects us. We have an ocean in between, right? Little thing called an ocean. The European Union should equalize. We're in there for $200 billion more than the European Union. I mean, what are we, stupid? I guess the answer is yes, because they must think so. But the European Union takes advantage of us tremendously on trade, and they now take advantage of, and always have. If I didn't get involved years ago, my first term, one of the first things I noticed was that they're not paying enough. They're not paying. And a lot of those countries weren't even paying. The NATO countries, they weren't paying. Only 7 out of 28 were paying. We were one of them. And Poland was one. And they had a few of them that were paying, and some were paying very proudly. Usually the closer to the borderline of Russia they were, the faster they paid. Okay. The ones that were further away tended not to pay so fast. And one thing on that, I think they should lift their number not to 2%, but to 5%. NATO should be at 5%. Not at 2%. 2% is ridiculous.
We want 5%. NATO, you bastard.
About Ukraine, you asked him to get involved in helping settle that. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. I said, you ought to get it settled, because he's not done very much on that. He's got a lot of power, like we have a lot of power. I said, you ought to get it settled. We did discuss it. Yeah.
Do you intend to continue selling products that benefit yourself personally while you're president?
Well, I don't know if it benefited. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't checked it. Where is it today?
You made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $1 billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
Can you give us some sense, broadly speaking?
Yeah, he wrote me a nice letter. I mean, I did open it last night. And I didn't know, Peter said, did you get the letter? I said, wait a minute, let's see the letter. It's sort of a tradition. You put it in the drawer, especially of the beautiful Resolute desk, right? And I opened it, and there it was. It said to number 47. And it was a very nice letter. I mean, I could show it because I think it was a nice letter. Maybe I will. I think just basically it was a little bit of an inspirational type letter, enjoy it, do a good job. Important, very important, how important the job is. But I think it was a nice letter.
He's done the job before.
Let people see it because it was a positive for him in writing it. I appreciated the letter.
Mr. President, were security concerns at all a factor when deciding to move your inauguration indoors?
No, not at all. No, not at all. It was just cold. Hey, look, if we would have, I
Almost
just went
there.
out to the helicopter, right, we said goodbye. That's a tradition. As long as helicopter, before it used to be a stagecoach, and then helicopters came along. But that's been a tradition. You go out and you do that. And we stood there for 10 minutes. And I'll tell you what, people would not have been able to get through that day. That was cold. It was sort of interesting. Don't let the sun fool you. Tell me something. Sunny days can get very cold, can't they? Because that was so freezing yesterday. You couldn't have gotten through it. It would have been. And the answer is no, it wasn't security. With that being said, I thought the Capitol, the Rotunda, was beautiful. 72 degrees, unbelievable sound. It's like being in an opera house. I could see people wanting to do it there rather than outside.
Why did you remove John Bolton's security clearance, sir?
Because I think there was enough time. It's we take a job. You take a job. You want to do a job. We're not going to have security on people for the rest of their lives. Why should we? I thought he was a very dumb person, but I used him well because every time people saw me come into a meeting with John Bolton standing behind me, they thought that he'd attack them because he was a warmonger. He's the one that got us involved, along with Cheney and a couple of others, convinced Bush, which was a terrible decision, to blow up the Middle East. We blew up the Middle East and we left. We got nothing out of it except a lot of death. We killed a lot of people. And John Bolton was, one of those guys, a stupid guy. But no, you can't have that for life. You shouldn't expect it for life.
Is that meeting that you mentioned with President Zelensky, will that take place here? And when and where will you meet with him?
I don't know. I mean, look, President Zelensky would like to have peace. He's told me that very strongly. He'd like to have peace, but it takes two to tango. We'll see what happens.
When will you meet with President Putin?
Anytime they want, I'll meet. I'd like to see that end. Millions of people are being killed, and they're being killed. It's a vicious situation, and they're now largely soldiers. A lot of people have been killed in the cities. They look like demolition sites. Buildings, massive buildings bombed and coming down. The thing with Ukraine is that many more people died than you're reporting. You're not reporting the real numbers, and I'm not blaming you for that. I'm blaming maybe our government for not wanting to release those numbers. Many more people died than what you know about. When those big buildings come down and they say 2 people were injured, no. Many people, thousands of people are being killed. But the real killing now is on the war front. It's a very flat land. And the only thing that stops a bullet is somebody's body. And you have young soldiers. So Russia's lost about 800,000 soldiers now. Ukraine's lost about 600 or 700,000. I think the numbers are low that they're giving out. But they've lost massive numbers of young soldiers.
Yeah.
And that war should stop. It's very flat. It's beautiful farmland, and it's flat and really beautiful in a different kind of way. But they don't have any protection.
Man. We went over all
that
that.
Stops a bullet is a body.
Or a
those bodies
drone.
are stopping a lot of bullets, and they're being decimated, both sides.
Or a drone.
Your
Yeah.
conversation with President
We're almost
Xi,
done
what
here.
did you
I
tell
guess
him
the last
in terms of when to
question.
expect tariffs? And what can you do to
Tariffs.
avoid
Here we go.
About which one? About tariffs? We didn't talk too much about tariffs, other than he knows where I stand. Look, I put large tariffs on China. I've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars. Until I was president, China never paid not 10 cents to the United States. With me, they paid hundreds of $600 billion or so, or more than that even, of tariffs. And if I didn't do that, you wouldn't have a steel mill open in the United States right now. You wouldn't have one steel mill open in the United States. So what I did is I saved the steel industry. I saved other industries too with other tariffs. Other countries are big abusers also. It's not just China. China's an abuser, but the European Union is very, very bad to us. They treat us very, very badly. They don't take our cars.
They're corrupt.
They don't take our cars at all. They don't take our farm products, essentially. They don't take very much. We have a $350 billion deficit with the European Union. They treat us very, very badly. So they're going to be in for tariffs. It's the only way you're going to get back. It's the only way you're going to get fairness. You can't get fairness unless you do that. But the European Union's treated us very badly. But essentially, everybody treats us badly. Everybody treats us badly. Yes, go ahead. Because we allow them to. Because we've had stupid people doing this, and we can't have. I'd like to have these 3 people negotiate for us, just for 1 week, and we'd be a rich country again. But we'll be rich.
Mr. President,
On AI data centers, will you rescind President Biden's executive order that opens up federal lands?
On which centers?
On data centers. Will you rescind President Biden's executive order that opens up federal lands for data centers and energy production?
No, I wouldn't do that. That sounds to me like it's something that I would like. I'd like to see federal lands opened up for data centers. I think they're going to be very important. Again, we have a lot of competition for that. So it's an honor to have these three great people, great CEOs and great geniuses, all three. It's an honor that they want to come to our country, but we're going to make it as easy as we can for them because other countries want them to. I'm going to have to go now. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
All right, there he goes.
No, but I think I might put it there. I think I'll get it right now. By the way, again, we won the young vote. I think I won it through TikTok. So I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok. Okay.
He's saying he has a warm spot in his
Thank you.
heart.
Thank you,
Mr. President.
All right. That was the last part. That's the only part I didn't show. So, anyways, yep. Everybody gets tariff. I'd rather give tariffs to other people than get taxed on our people. So we'll see. European Union was always supposed to be an economic pact. Far from it now. Yes, exactly. That's how it always starts, right? And that's how it always starts. That's how they always do it. And that's why you have to be careful of those globalist organizations because it's always a wolf in sheep's clothing. No pun intended there. Because Wolfram's always just a wolf in wolf's clothes. Wolf's. He's always just a wolf. He's never dressed up like a sheep. When the steel industry fails and auto industries fail, it greatly impacts Northwest Ohio more than people realize. Yep, it does. You can see it on T-Rex. Like he's the first person in Northwest Ohio that gets impacted. He comes in, he's just not looking the same. But yeah, that's good. It's going to be key, man. All these new industries coming in are going to be key. They need us more than we need them. We need to remind them all. Yeah, and that's what they're going to figure out real fast too. Stop sharing that. Okay. Was there something else? Oh yeah, he did talk about J6. And I did grab this earlier. I know I added it. Hold on. Maybe I didn't know I added it. Maybe I forgot to add it. Anyways, there has been some reports that there have been some troubles getting these people out, but that Charlie Kirk and team are staying on top of it. That's all I can tell you about that. So if it continues by Thursday, I'll come back to it. But for right now, let's see how fast they can get these people out with these pardons. Let's go. All right, so I got to figure out how to do this next part. Let's see. I got this. I'm thinking I can do it like this, and it may work. I don't know though. Give me 1 second. Let's see. No. All right. So I'm thinking I can do it like this and it may work. All right. So we'll try it this way. All right. So what we have to do is set this up, right? We got this, we got that. Okay. So what I want to do is show the executive order that I'm talking about. That's what we're going to do now. And then I want to okay, I'll do it that way. Okay, yeah, I can do it this way. All right, cool. All right, then I want to read you a synopsis of it. So what I've done is I've gone through these already, and I have summarized these. So we'll see how we can do this so it looks really good, because we'll do it like this. All right, so this is the first one. This is the first one that he signed. Initial recessions of harmful executive orders and actions. This is the first one he signed. This is the one that rescinded all of the Joe Biden mayhem. Basically, that rescinded a lot of his policies, a lot of the things that were working right for America. he got out there, and Joe Biden, on day one, I'm going to screw everything up. Remember the promise? And remember by day two, things were falling apart. Yeah, that's what it was. I just want to make sure I got the right one here. Here we go. Okay. All right. So here we have it. Initial recessions of harmful executive orders and actions. So here it is, the thing, right? So basically, this executive order does this. President Trump has issued an executive order to reverse several policies from the previous administration. Many. That's, again, in many cases, reverse his own policies. Key actions included ending the implementation of diversity, equity, and inclusion practices across federal agencies, reversing open border policies, and tackling what's described as climate extremism to curb inflation and reduce regulatory burdens on businesses. The order aims to restore common sense to government operations, focusing on merit and equality, and to enhance national security by reviewing national security memoranda. All right. The purpose and policy here. So a couple bullet points. The executive order signed on January 20th, 2025 by President Trump explicitly aims to dismantle what are described as deeply unpopular, inflammatory, illegal, and radical practices from the previous administration. It seeks to reinstate a government based on merit, hard work, and equality, criticizing DEI initiatives for creating a diverse and dangerous preferential hierarchy. All right. Border and immigration policies. The order emphasizes ending practices that have opened the borders in which it claims has endangered Americans and strained resources. It signals a policy shift towards more stringent border control, aiming to protect national security and local community resources. 3, environmental and economic policies. On climate policy, the order criticizes climate extremism for causing inflation and overburdening businesses with regulation. It plans to undo these measures to promote economic growth, suggesting a move towards more balanced environmental policies that do not compromise economic prosperity. 4, national security and government operations. The National Security Advisor is tasked with reviewing all national security memoranda from January 20th, 2021 to January 20th, 2025 for potential harm to national security, domestic resilience, and American values. This includes the revocation of certain executive orders and memoranda, like those concerning Cuba's status and AmeriCorps appointments, signaling a significant policy shift. 5, implementation and general provisions. Immediate steps are ordered to end the federal implementation of DEI ideology with the Domestic Policy Council and National Economic Council, tasked to review and adjust previous government actions. The order ensures that it does not impair the authority of executive departments or the functions of the Office of Management and Budget, but must be implemented within legal frameworks and available appropriations. Okay. This executive order is a part of a series of day one actions by President Trump. It signifies a profound policy pivot away from the initiatives of the Biden administration by targeting what it describes as deeply unpopular, inflammatory, illegal, and radical practices from Biden's tenure, which is all they were, right? Trump's administration is setting a new course. This includes dismantling diversity, equity, and inclusion frameworks. That's just getting rid of, it's just eroding away at critical theory right there. Frameworks, reversing open border policies, and reevaluating climate and environmental regulations, which were central to Biden's agenda. The goal is to reinstate a governance model focused on merit, economic growth, and national security, moving away from what Trump's administration views as identity politics, regulatory overreach, and tax, and a lax border control. These day one initiatives orders could fundamentally alter the direction of the downward spiral of America, basically, and I believe that they will. So we're looking forward to that. And just to kind of give you guys a quick overview of that, here's what it says. I gave you the summary, so we didn't read it word for word, and I gave you some highlights of it as well. So that's kind of the idea here. And wow, going from dark mode over to bright mode side by side makes little lines form in my eyes. All right. So basically, here's all the executive orders this first one gets rid of, right? And as you can tell, in a lot of cases, it's got dressed up establishment naming, right? That makes it sound virtuous when it's really just like kind of like most of the time money laundering or some kind of like radical discrimination, right? But here we go. Just to give you some, we'll give some examples here as we go down you guys can, stop and read these for yourself if I skip one. But, the first one, advancing radical equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. Now, who decides what's equitable and who decides what's underserved, right? This is the problem with the Biden administration. And you can see that a lot of people don't even know what these executive orders were, right? Take a look at the crowd here real quick. You guys can read down that. I'll jump on some ones that seem, and I'll talk about some that seem interesting, but at the same time, I can let you guys read why read what you're saying. Governor Little needs to create executive orders to sync with Trump's federal executive orders. Governor Little of Boise and Napa, okay, are voting on defiance towards the executive orders in regards to DEI. Really, yeah. Well, too bad, Marxists. The end is here. The end is here. You're not going to be able to discriminate against people anymore, and you're not going to be able to play your stupid little divide and conquer games. So, see, another one, ensuring a lawful and accurate enumeration and appointments pursuant to the decennial census. I don't even know what that is. So, but you see the numbers, the order of them. It's like that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. These are all like, all in order, right? He skips very few. Preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. Yeah, no more privilege. Privilege gone. Bye. No more privilege. Ethics committee, ethics commitments by executive branch personnel. What does that mean? That means an adherence to their version of ethics, doesn't it? Goodbye. Protecting public health and the environment, and restoring science to tackle the climate crisis. That is such a subversive statement. Bye. Not going to be here anymore. Revocation of certain executive orders concerning federal regulations. Basically, the ones that were saying, if you're going to put a regulation in, you got to take a regulation out or two out, right? And they didn't like that. They're like, no, we've got to regulate everything so we can make money off of it, and we can extort money and make it a very crooked, corrupt system. So that's gone. Revision of civil immigration enforcement policies and priorities. That was getting rid of Trump's border policies, basically, and that's gone. Ensuring an equitable pandemic response and recovery. We don't need that, do we? That's gone. More about that stuff right here. Establishing a testing board and ensuring a sustainable public health workforce. What do you think that meant? Force. That's gone. Improving and expanding access to care and treatment for deaths. Yeah, what does that mean? It means more what's that they want you to take. We'll expand it. We'll stick it in your chair for you. Protecting health workers, protecting workers' health and safety. What does that mean? I mean, some of these are so stupid and broad you can't even understand what they're talking about. So, anyways, the list goes on and on. And they're all ridiculous like this. They're all ridiculous, subversive policies, or they mitigate what Trump was doing. And that was what we got rid of here. The full list is out on this page. All right, yeah. So I just threw at you in the chat. If you want to follow up and look at these closely, I recommend that you do. climate related financial risk. What does that mean? All right, establishment of climate change support office. Goodbye, no more. Termination of emergency with respect to the International Criminal Court. What does that mean? Establishment of presidential commission on the Supreme Court of the United States. I guess they were trying to figure out how to get one of their own in there, which they ended up doing. Advancing equity, justice, and opportunity for Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. They like to divide people up and put them in nice little boxes. And you see a bunch of these too: diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in federal workforce. Hold on. All right. Blue Lantern, what's up? Guys, I work next to WQS trying to tell me Elon is 6 people away from being president. This is a level of intelligence that we're up against. All these leftists are misinformed AF. Yeah, they are. What's up, Snipe? How you doing? Protecting the government workforce. That's the last thing we need protecting, right? I fell asleep reading some of these things last night. I bet. That's why I summarized them. So this is one of the ones where I'm actually going to go through and kind of like to point things out in it because there's so many little nuances to it. But for the most part, we're going to just jam through them with a summary. And I'm thinking about putting these out as videos. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see, so that people can kind of jam through them too. There's so many of them, man. There's 4 or 5 pages of these, and I didn't even get to any of the other ones. Like I kind of went high level in this one, like the big ones that I thought would be good, and then I put all the border stuff into into Thursday, right? But there's still little ones too, like hiring freeze and return to the return to the office for federal employees. Get back to work, guys. All right. So yeah, there's so many of them, and you'll see. There's so many of them are just subversive especially to what we know, right? Advancing. It's just so many bullshit. This is the stuff we were living under. Advancing equity for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex individuals. Really? What does that mean? What does it mean to advance equity for a bisexual person or a queer person? Do they even know what these things mean? I mean, these aren't even like, what does that mean? That doesn't make any sense. Sir Frank Otter, what's up? I see you out there. How you doing? I mean, this is the stupidity of this last administration. No wonder it failed so hard. Look at these dumb. This is what was important to them, right? How many? It's division. Globalist agenda. So many dumb things, and they breaking people. They say the same thing in 4 or 5 different. I don't know if they broke them up just to make more, so it looks like he's doing more, or I don't know. But they broke people into little boxes. They'd say the same thing for this group, same thing for that group. Modernizing regulatory review. What does that mean? These are all things that Biden's and crew did. Providing an order of succession within the Department of Justice. Providing an order of succession within the Department of Homeland Security. This sounds like continuity government stuff, right? COG stuff right there. White House initiatives on advancing educational equality, excellence, and economic opportunity through the Hispanic serving institutions. Like very, very, very particular. And it just goes on and on and on and on. And then you have a bunch of memorandums there at the end where they, these memorandums to withdraw of certain areas of the United States outer continental shelf from oil and natural gas leasing. So basically, this is where they started to depower our energy independence and raise the prices of things, gas and everything else. So that's where that started right there. So that's all gone. Then that's really good. And that is the very first one he signed, getting rid of all the bullshit, the initial recession of harmful executive orders and actions, all the things Joe Dunn did wrong. That's what that is, right? All the things he did wrong. But getting right back into it, we now have The next one, restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship. Now, a lot of times he signed these and he didn't really get a chance to understand what they were all about, right? That's why I have these nice summaries. So what we have here is a bold move ending federal censorship in 2025. And what does that mean? Well, President Trump has signed an executive order to protect free speech by ending federal censorship, and the order criticizes the previous administration for pressuring social media to suppress speech under the guise of fighting misinformation. It aims to prevent government interference in free speech, ensuring Americans can express themselves without fear. Hey, Evelyn, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Look at the last administration as an example. As long as you check the DEI box, you became representatives or cabinet members of the ungodly administration. Yeah, I mean, what a clown world. Honestly, like, when you look at his administration, his picks, what a clown world it was. I mean, you had the weird bald guy with the dress. You had the guy in a wig and in a military uniform. I mean, you had all kinds of just, it was a freak show. It was really just a freak show, is all it was. All right, so here we go. Big old bold letters there. That's what this is. So, anyways, let's see how Evelyn I did. Yes. Good. All right. Any other clever statements? All right, cool. Here we go. The order criticizes the previous administration for pressure. Okay, we did that. It aims to prevent government interference in free speech, ensuring Americans can express themselves without fear. Yeah, we just said that. Okay, so here we go. Purpose. The purpose of this executive order, signed by President Trump, explicitly aims to restore freedom of speech by ending federal censorship. It highlights that over the last 4 years, under the previous administration, free speech rights were allegedly trampled, were definitely trampled by coercing social media platforms to moderate or suppress speech. Yes. Criticisms of previous policies. The order accuses the prior administration of using the pretext of combating misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation to infringe on First Amendment rights. It claims that this was done to advance a preferred government narrative, thereby limiting public debate. How about that? Really? I never would have guessed. Policy declarations. No federal censorship, no federal department or agency can use resources to censor protected speech. Investigate and correction. The Attorney General, that's Pam Bondi, is tasked with investigating and correcting past federal government misconduct related to speech censorship over the last 4 years. And now we're starting to see why these pardons are coming in. No way, right? The Biden pardons, that is. Safeguarding speech. The order emphasizes that no federal action should be contrary to its directives, ensuring the government does not suppress free expression. This is just the oppression of an authoritative dictator, isn't it? Right? It's just, this is all we're hearing about. They said Trump was going to be a dictator. He's worse than Hitler. Yeah, he's going to make sure that we have we're safeguarded against free expression, against suppression of our free expression. Sounds like a real tyrant to me. General provisions. The order does not impair or affect the legal authority of or departments or agencies, but directs them to operate within the boundaries of the law concerning free speech. That's the First Amendment to you and me. It includes the provisions for reporting and recommendations for remedial actions based on the findings of the investigation into past censorship activities. Implications and reactions. This executive order could reshape how the government interacts with social media and private entities regarding speech regulations. It might lead to legal challenges or debates about the extent of government influence over free speech, especially in digital spaces. Public and political reactions. could be polarizing, with supporters seeing it as a victory for free speech and critics possibly arguing about the potential for increased misinformation. Well, I mean, the establishment is all about misinformation. That's all they do. President Trump's executive orders marked a significant moment in the ongoing debate over free speech in our digital age. By explicitly aiming to end federal censorship, it seeks to reinforce First Amendment rights, potentially changing how speech is moderated online and how the government can interact with platforms. The long-term effects of policy, social media practices, and public discourse will be key areas to watch as this order is implemented. You guys like that one? And that's pretty much what this says, right? And just for you, there is the link if you'd like to read it yourself, word for word, but I pretty much summarized it for you right here. There you have it. All right. On to the next one. Give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Hey, I'm back. There we go. See? I just had to man, these sometimes wearing these glasses, if I don't get them on right, they start to hurt after a while. So, anyways, that's what that's all about. So let's go on to the next one here. Ending the weaponization of the federal government. This, I believe, the third one he signed. I'm kind of going in order a little bit up front, but anyways, there it is. There you have it. Okay, we need some of that. Okay, real quick, we got to take a quick important break here for this. Thank you for supporting the channel. There you go. Talking Trash and Choose, $5 super chat. Need eye candy for the chat, and you provided, and they thank you for it. They're thanking you like you wouldn't believe. And you can follow Shirley's example anytime you like anybody else that's out there. And we will get right back to this. All right. So, here we go. Yep. I still got my body armor edge here. It's one of the last bottles on the planet Earth. One day I'll own that. It'll be called Winning Edge. And everybody will buy it and they'll love it. Okay, here we go. Ending the weaponization of the federal government. Big task here for an executive order. Trump's executive order halting government weaponization. President Trump has signed an order to end what he describes as the weaponization of federal agencies against political opponents. This involves reviewing past actions by departments like the DOJ and FBI to ensure they align with legal constitutional standards, not political vendettas. The purpose and policy behind this executive order aims to stop the perceived misuse of federal power against political adversaries, a practice it labels as weaponization. It criticizes the previous administration for allegedly targeting those exercising their constitutional rights, like parents at school board meetings or political dissenters. Background and critique. The order points out that in recent years, federal law enforcement and intelligence communities have been used for political purposes. You don't say. Really? Huh. Who'd have thunk it? Focusing on inflicting political damage rather than pursuing justice. It mentions specific examples where actions seemed more aligned with political retribution than legal merit. We have seen plenty of that. Specific directives. Review of past actions. The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, alongside other department and agency heads, is directed to review all civil and criminal enforcement activities for the past 4 years. identifying any that appear contrary to this order's purpose. Intelligence community review. The director of national intelligence, that would be Ratcliffe, must also review intelligence community activities for similar abuses. Reporting and recommendations. Reports are to be submitted to the president with recommendations for corrective actions ensuing future activities align with constitutional and legal standards. Wow. Sounds very tyrannical to me. Well, what do you guys think? Is this complete tyranny, or are we actually seeing what a government with integrity looks like? They're stalling Bondi's confirmation vote for a week. Yeah. See, this is the kind of BS that's going on with the ones they don't want. That's what they do, but they're going to pay for it. They're going to pay for it. I don't know why they don't just get on with it. All right. So, where are we at? Okay. Implementation and compliance. Departments and agencies are instructed to comply with document retention policies to aid in these reviews. The order emphasizes that it should not be seen as impairing legal authorities of departments, but as ensuring these powers are not misused for political ends. Implications for governance. The order could lead to significant changes in how federal agencies operate, particularly in investigations or enforcement actions that might have political implementations. It might result in legal reviews, potential apologies, or reparations for those previously targeted, and could set a precedent for how administrations transfer power. There might be a resistance or debate about the extent of this weaponization and whether this order oversteps into protecting political figures from legitimate scrutiny. Well, yeah, there's that, and then there's witch hunts, right? Conclusion: President Trump's executive order to end weaponization of the federal government is a bold statement against what he said is an administration perceived as political. I guess what he said and his administration perceives as political persecution through federal agencies. This move aims to restore trust in the government institutions by ensuring their actions serve the public interest, not political agendas. The effectiveness of the public reception of these changes will be pivotal, potentially reshaping the landscape of federal law enforcement and intelligence operations. We hope so. That's what we're going for here. That's what we're going for. It's a short little read, but I'd like to go ahead and give you guys the rundown so you understand it thoroughly. And if it interests you further, you can go here and read more about it, or you can print it out and hang it on your wall. Those are all options that you have as free Americans in a free society. All right, next up on deck, something people have been quite interested in as well. Delivering emergency price relief for American families and defeating the cost of living crisis. Let's talk about it. President Trump has issued an executive order to tackle the cost of living crisis by ordering federal agencies to reduce prices on essentials like housing, healthcare, and energy. What a tyrant. What a tyrant. This aims to undo the inflation caused by previous policies and restore affordability for American families. Wow. That sounds pretty good, huh? That sounds pretty good. Where's the tyranny? Background and purpose. The executive order signed by President Trump directly addresses what he describes as an inflation crisis. I think we all will describe it the same way, caused by the previous administration's policies, because that's when the inflation started. It aims to provide immediate relief to American families by reducing the cost of living through various regulatory and policy changes. Economic context. The order criticizes the past 4 years for unsustainable government spending. As worried as that administration was about sustainability, the one thing they couldn't sustain what were the things that counted, right? Were the things that counted. like government spending, leading to high costs in fuel, food, housing, and healthcare. It attributes these issues to policies that artificially stimulated demand while making necessity goods scarce. Making necessary goods scarce. Well, those bastards. Specific actions. Here we go, guys. This is the good stuff right here. The specific actions, and that's why I summarize it for you, because you don't want to read all that less. Housing. 1, directs actions to lower housing costs by expanding supply. Okay. Healthcare calls for the elimination of unnecessary administrative expenses and rent-seeking practices that inflate healthcare costs. All right. Energy and appliances seeks to remove counterproductive regulations that increase the cost of home appliances and aims to eliminate climate policies seen as raising food and fuel costs. Employment plans to create jobs and brings discouraged workers back into the labor market. Implementation. Agency heads are tasked with delivering emergency price relief within the bounds of applicable law. An assistant to the president for economic policy will provide regular reports on the implementation, ensuring accountability and progress tracking. Potential impact and challenges. This order could lead to significant policy shifts, potentially reducing regulatory burdens on businesses, which might stimulate economic activity and lower prices. You think? However, there might be debates over how efficient these measures will be, especially in areas like housing where supply constraints are not solely regulatory. Environmental and social advocates might oppose some measures, particularly those related to climate policy, arguing they could reverse progress on sustainable and equity. Well, that's what we're hoping for: sustainability and equity. That's the point. So they would be right for thinking that. Conclusion: President Trump's executive order is a direct response to the economic challenges faced by American families, focused on reducing inflation through deregulation and policy reform. Yep. When the last people were doing it the wrong way, and they were doing it intentionally the wrong way, you reverse those and you get rid of the bullshit. While it promises immediate relief, the success of this initiative will depend on the execution by federal agencies. Doesn't always. It comes down to execution, economic conditions, and the broader political and public response. I think everybody's going to be happy that the prices are going down. This could be a defining moment for the administration's economic policy. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. And as always, for anyone who would like to dig smarter or dig further, there is the link to that one. So real quick on that one, we got through that really good. Let's hope those things work. Let's hope that those things work. That's what I say. That's what I say. All right. Oh man, this next one is one of my favorites here. Next one's one of my favorites, I gotta say. Putting America first in international environmental agreements. In other words, screw you, we're going home. All right. President Trump has issued an executive order to prioritize U.S. interests in international environmental agreements. It involves withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accords, which is just a big racket to suck us dry of money and resources, and revoking the U.S. International Climate Finance Plan. What the hell is that about? Do you guys even know that existed? Emphasizing economic growth alongside environmental protection. Clean, real food, clean air, clean soil. These are environmental issues. These are things we should do. This whole climate change bullshit to make us panic into giving all of our rights and resources away, nothing but a scam. All right. So the purpose and policy for this great executive order marks a significant shift towards prioritizing American economic interests in international environmental agreements. It criticizes past arrangements for not reflecting U.S. values or contributions to both the economic and environmental objectives. historical context, the order acknowledges the U.S.'s historical success in balancing economic growth with environmental protection through market-driven policies. However, it argues that recent international commitments have been at odds with these achievements, particularly in the terms of the economic burden on American citizens and businesses. Yeah, in other words, they're taking our money and giving it to other people, and we're not getting anything in return. We're the ones that have to suffer, while other people just be like, "Huh, thanks for the money," right? And I will say, with all of these, what's really important is that we can see how quickly an incoming administration can turn over good work, right? We saw that in 2020. Here we have another. We're coming in to undo those mistakes, right? That's why we have to make sure that we sustain our inroads into the government as the based America First group, because the last thing we want to do is be here 4 years from now watching some establishment puppet sit here and undo all this. We have to keep in mind that one of the first things Biden did was put us back into this bad deal. He didn't care if it broke you. He didn't care if you had less, and he didn't care about any of that stuff. He just cared about making the globalists happy and making sure they got their money. It's like payoff. It's like money laundering, right? Yeah, man. So we got to make sure that we never let up the ground that we gain, right? Until this corrupt establishment is crushed and gone. And that's a generational fix, right? Until we break them at the globalist level. It's always job on. It's always job on. And we have so much more to do on our own past this initial 100 days of Trump and everything that he's going to bring to the table for us. We have so much more to do on our own. We got to get out there and start using our creativity and our unity to implement the generational fixes that we talk about. So we got to find a way. And so that's what we do. But we're still in mission mode here, right? So let's go ahead and finish this up. Okay, so withdraw key actions. Withdraw from Paris Agreement. Immediately notify the United Nations. Immediately notify the United Nations. The U.S. withdraws from the Paris Climate Accord Agreement, marking the second time under Trump's presidency such a thing has happened. Screw you. We're not playing your stupid games. All right. That's what the letter should say. And I hope it does. Revoking climate finance. The U.S. International Climate Finance Plan. How do we have a U.S. International Climate Finance Plan? Is revoked. The funds previously allocated to this plan to be unfrozen for other uses. So yeah, they're putting our money away. They're socking it away for international climate finance. What the hell is that? Policy review directs multiple federal departments to review and adjust international energy policies to favor economic efficiency, American prosperity, consumer choice, and fiscal restraint. So get out of your globalist head right there. Yeah, they're all the same. One works for the other, right? The UN is supposed to be the top of the pyramid politically now. That's the idea, right? That's the Grand Council, and the EU would be a spur of it, directing many of the countries in Europe under one head of the snake, if you will. Anyways, yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of all of it. Even though we pay for most of the UN and we host it here. Yeah, take that building back too. We'll take the building back. We'll put refugees in there. Policy. Okay. Did I say policy review yet? Yeah, I did. Okay. So that's done. Implementation. Agencies involved must report on actions taken to align with this new directive, dealing how they will achieve this policy objective set forth in order. I mean, give me the letter to the UN gig. I want that. I'll take care of that for you. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, in collaboration with key secretaries, will certify a report on further actions needed to fully implement this policy shift. Yeah, hopefully that's our last ambassador to the UN. Implications and reactions. This order could lead to a reevaluation of U.S. participation in global climate initiatives. I hope so. Potentially affecting international relations and environmental policy cooperations. It might be seen positively by those advocating for national sovereignty and economic priorities, but could draw criticism from environmentalists. So you think in global, we'll just put globalists in there, and allies who value a collective climate action. Yeah, like that's ever happened. The long-term environmental impact of withdrawing from such agreements, coupled with the economic benefits claimed, will be subjects of debate and analysis. Yeah, I bet. Where's Greta? Greta's going to trade in her checkerboard bandana for her climate shirt again. How dare you? It's like, President Trump's executive order on putting America first in international environmental agreements has a bold statement of policy direction, focusing on national interests over global environmental consensus. Yeah, right. Like, yeah, like that. There's anything just or and like there's any integrity to that whatsoever. By withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord agreement and rethinking climate finance, rethinking getting rid of it. This order aims to align environmental policy more closely with reality and with economic benefits for American citizens. That too, the global and domestic repercussions is a move will be significant, influencing not just environmental policy, but also U.S. standing in international diplomacy and climate leadership. I think it's a good thing. Yeah, we'll lead the way out the door for the bullshit, and we'll start focusing on what's real. So yeah, that is that, and that's a good one, right? We always love it when we get out of the Paris Climate Accords. That's always a great thing, and then we've done it twice now. And there's your link. I know she switched to the Free Palestine crowd. She's been running around with those people. It's a League of Injustice. It's just feckless failure. Yep. Never trust a globalist organization. Never do it. All right. All right, next one's a good one. You'll love this one, as you'll love all of these. Promising. Promises made, promises kept. And that's what a lot of this is too. In fact, I put that in the title, didn't I? Yep, these are promises he made and promises he's keeping. And these are some of the executive orders that are going to help him keep promises that he's made. And it's going to make America great, and you're going to like it, and that's the way it's going to be. All right, there you go. Restoring accountability to policy influencing positions within the federal workforce. Oh no, deep state. What's this? President Trump has signed an order to restore accountability in federal jobs that influence policy. It reintroduces Schedule F. That's the Schedule fired, allowing for easier removal of poorly performing or insubordinate employees in these roles. See? Schedule F. That's scheduled, you're fired. Aiming to improve government efficiency and responsiveness. Yes, definitely. Purpose and context. This executive order signed by President Trump aims to rectify what it perceives as a lack of accountability within the federal workforce. That's where the deep state likes to hide, isn't it? Particularly in positions that influence policy. It criticizes the existing system for making it difficult to remove underperforming or insubordinate employees. Insubordinate employees being the key word there, right? You start doing bad things, you can go bye-bye. Right? Policy and historical background. The order reinstates Schedule fired, a classification for employees in policy making or policy influencing roles, which was introduced in 2020 but later revoked. That's when Trump was trying to get that done going out the door, I think. And Biden said, no, we can't have any of that. It argues that only 41% of civil service supervisors feel confident in removing employees for misconduct, with even fewer for poor performance, highlighting a need for change. Only a little less than half. Key provisions of the order: reintroduce Schedule FIED. Positions influencing policy will be reclassified under Schedule F, making them at-will employees. Okay, yeah, see, if you're under Schedule F, that means you could be fired, thus simplifying the process for the removal if they fail to implement administrative policy faithfully. Yeah, there's some of the things we're looking at right there. If you want to read along. No. Guidance insurance. The director of the Office of Personal Management, OPM, must issue guidance within 30 days. Within 30 days on additional categories for Schedule F, aiming to expand accountability. Revocation of previous orders. It revokes Executive Order 14003 from 2021, which had protected the federal workforce against such classifications. Oh, protecting the deep state. How about that? It mandates a review of the regulated agency actions. And I'm going to keep this up here because I don't like the bright light. I'll be getting you the link. Don't worry. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Implementation and accountability. Agency heads are to review and possibly reassign employees to ensure alignment with policy execution. The order stresses that while Schedule F employees do not need to support the president politically, they must implement policies faithfully or face dismissal. Hello, Suzanne, over on the Rumble side. How are you doing this evening, ma'am? Let's see. The order stresses that, okay, we did that. Okay, potential impact and controversy. This order could lead to a significant shift in how federal employees are managed, potentially increasing efficiency, but also causing concern among people who want to screw off and fuck us over. And political influence of Korea, yeah. Critics may argue that it undermines the deep state, undermines the merit system. They say, well, I don't think about that. I think you'll get your merit when you do your job right. Dang it. While supporters see it as necessary for effective governance, particularly in ensuring that policy is implemented as intended by elected officials. Yeah, no more deep state BS. Right? You hear me? No more. And look at that. Shelley has this given Suzanne a gifted membership. Precious moments have occurred. And she thanks Shelley. See? Look. Ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding. All right. Now you got a membership over on Rumble too. Conclusion: President Trump's executive orders on restoring accountability within the federal workforce marks a return to policies aimed at enhancing government responsiveness and efficiency. By reintroducing Schedule F, it seeks to align the bureaucracy more closely with the administration's directives. That means no more screwing off, no more bullshit, right? Should have done that first time. The implications for federal employees, policy execution, and the balance between political accountability and civil service protections will be closely watched, debated, and potentially litigated, of course. But that's okay. That's okay. We got this. We got it. Oh, I gotta do this. Did I already put the link out for you? Well, I'm gonna do it again just in case, because I don't know. Why do I need to bite you? I'm just pointing out that you gave out a very generous and nice membership, and we thank you for supporting the channel. So if that comes with a free bite, then so be it. All right. So there's the link again. That's the one we just read. All right. And let's go to the next one. This one's got a really long title, so get excited about that. Really long title, but it's also a really great title. It's probably one of the best titles out there. You be the judge. There we go. holding former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive governmental information. Yep, there you go. They're like, he's going to get revenge on his enemies. He's going to go after his political opponents. No, we're going to hold former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive governmental information. Is that clear enough? All right. Well, this is a good one. President Trump has signed an executive order to hold former government officials accountable for election interference and leaking sensitive information. It targets officials who coordinated to discredit news stories during the 2020 election, revoking their security clearances. Bye-bye. The purpose and scope, this executive order issued by Trump explicitly aims at punishing former government officials for actions perceived as interfering in elections and improperly disclosing sensitive information. It seeks to restore public trust in government by ensuring that those with security clearances do not misuse them for political gain. Background and specific incidences. This order references the 2020 election where 51 former intelligence officials coordinated a letter dismissing reports on Hunter Biden's laptop as Russian disinformation. An action seen as politically motivated. Do you think it was politically motivated? It may have been. It might have been. It also mentions John R. Bolton's memoir as an example of improper disclosure for personal gain. Oh, Bolton. Oh, Bolton. You walked right into it, didn't you? You thought Trump was the dumb one. No. Key actions. We all wondered why he brought that old neocon in, right? Well, and he even said today, he goes, yeah, I use that guy up pretty good. He's like, I would just use him to scare people, but I would never listen to him. Anyways, let's continue. Revocation and security clearances. Oh, yes. Yeah, no more security clearances for you. Orders the revocation of security clearances for those involved in the alleged election interference, specifically naming the former intelligence officials and John Bolton. Come on, my security clearance. Sorry, no more security for you. Policy statements declares the intelligence community should not engage in partisan politics for electioneering, and classified information should not be disclosed for personal profit. Haven't you learned yet? Right? Implementation details. The order directs specific actions to be by the head of the departments and agencies to ensure compliance, including reporting mechanisms to verify the revocation of clearances. It emphasizes that these measures are intended to protect national security and the integrity of democratic institutions. Good. Potential. Oh, you already got the link out there for me? Thank you, Heidi. Cool. This potential implications and reactions. This move could have significant legal and political ramifications, potentially opening up debates on free speech versus national security, the role of intelligence officers in public discourse, and the balance of power between political appointees and career officials. While supporters might applaud the enforcement of accountability, critics could argue it's an overreach. Who are the critics on this one? Right? Who's criticizing this? Right? Okay. President Trump's executive order on former officials' accountability for election interference and improper disclosure is a bold step to reinforce the separation of intelligence work from political interference. By targeting specific individuals and actions, it aims to safeguard elections and sensitive information from political manipulation. All right, so there you go. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? And I don't have to drop the link because it's already out there now, right? Right. Okay. Good. Okay, so this one I thought, next one, it's a memorandum. And it's a memorandum to resolve the backlog of security clearances for executive office of the president's personnel. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this right here is because this is a direct was one of the things, one of the points that J. Michael Waller made in his interview with Tucker Carlson, right? And basically, he said that one of the things they were going to do was try to slow down security clearances. They were going to try to hold up and really, lag out the cabinet appointments and try to get many of them, make several attempts, right? So that was one of them. But this is another one where, they couldn't get anything done if they didn't have security clearances, right? So Trump obviously saw that interview, or had some kind of quote. Somebody on the team saw the interview and knew this was going on and said, "We have to do something about this, sir. Sir, we have to do something about this." Well, what if I write a memorandum? Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're looking at right here. And here we go. The summary of this is President Trump has issued a memorandum to tackle the backlog in security clearances for White House staff, granting interim clearances to ensure new appointees can start work promptly. Oops. Did we just counter your little move? This aims to streamline governmental operations from day one. Yes. Sorry, guys. Your little stupid little frou-frou games aren't going to work. Okay. Purpose and context. On January 28th, 2025, President Trump signed a memorandum to address the significant backlog in security clearances for personnel in the executive office of the president. The delay in clearances has been attributed to inefficiencies from previous administrations, you think, and impacting the ability of new staff to perform their duties. Because exactly. The problem identified. The memo points out that delays in granting security clearances have hindered the immediate implementation of the administration's agenda, particularly in roles requiring access to sensitive information or facilities. Sorry, we can't let you in. You don't have your security clearance. Can't give you that. So we'll wait weeks and months and months and weeks. I think he learned. Actions taken, interim clearances. It directs the White House counsel to provide a list of personnel who will be granted interim top secret sensitive compartmented information clearances. Yeah. These are to be effective immediately, but not exceed 6 months, allowing time for full background investigations. Authority for revocation. The White House counsel has the authority to supplement this list or revoke clearances as necessary, ensuring flexibility and security that we'll all appreciate. Access to resources. These individuals are granted immediate access to necessary facilities and technologies to execute their duties. Implementation and oversight. The memorandum does not establish new rights or benefits enforceable by law, but is a directive to streamline the onboarding process within the existing legal framework. It ensures that while interim clearances are granted, the standard procedure for permanent clearances are still followed, maintaining security integrity. Potential outcome and criticisms. This action could significantly expedite the start of the new administration's policies by allowing key staff members to begin work without delay, potentially enhancing efficiency and governance. And it certainly will piss off the deep state. So, nanny, boo-boo. All right. President Trump's memorandum to resolve the security clearance backlog for EOP personnel is a pragmatic response to administrative inefficiencies, aimed to ensure that his administration can hit the ground running while it offers a solution to immediate operational challenges. The balance between speed and security will be key to its success, and it will be amazing at it. And we should be very thankful for that. All right, cool. That's all out there too. Happy days are here again when skies above are blue again. I think is that how it goes? Is that how it goes? Did I have that all wrong? Putting people. Okay, this is for you, Cali. You out there, California? This one's for you. putting people over fish, stopping radical environmentalism to provide water to Southern California. Yes, this is what it took. This is what it took right here. The Putting People Over Fish Act. But this is how far we had to go to get things done to save California from itself. California, if you appreciate this, please consider voting outside the establishment from now on. Thank you. President Trump has signed an executive order titled Putting People Over Fish to redirect more water from the Sacramento San Joaquin. How did I never heard of this name before? Delta to Southern California, criticizing past environmental policies for favoring fish over human water needs. Are we really talking about this? Purpose and background. Trump issued an executive order aimed at addressing what he described as the misprioritization of environmental concerns over human needs. The order specifically targets the redirection of water from northern to southern California, which has been historically curtailed due to environmental protections for species like the Delta smelt. They smelt at Delta. Those who California smelt it and dealt it, right? Policy critique. The order criticizes the previous administration and state actions for allowing what it considers an excessive amount of water to flow into the Pacific Ocean for the sake of protecting a fish species, the Delta smelted. And at the expense of human populations needing water. It referenced past legal battles where California's government blocked water infrastructure improvements. They blocked it. Specific directives, water redirection, directs the Secretaries of Commerce and their Interior to restart efforts from Trump's first term to route more water to the Sacramento San Quentin. God bless America. John Quinn. Okay, whatever. Delta to areas in California that need it, particularly in the Central Valley and Southern California. Well, that could help put out some fires, maybe. The order insists on immediate action, highlighting the recent wildfires in Southern California as evidence of the need for a reliable water supply for firefighters and vegetation management. Yeah, you think you might need that? Implications and environmental concerns. Oh boy, this all would be good. The policy could lead to significant changes in water distribution, potentially benefiting agriculture in urban areas in Southern California, but raising concerns about the impact on local ecosystems and endangered species like the Delta smelt. Right? Because you can't go on with a peaceful world and human existence without a Delta smelt. But I mean, I'm sure the fish will be fine. It'll find a way. It'll adapt and overcome. It's a Delta smelt after all. Environmental groups might oppose this move. Yeah, they can go put out the fires with their hands then. Arguing it could further endanger threatened species. Yeah, but meanwhile, people's houses burn down. Yeah, no one's going to listen to those crazy people. Political and public relations. This order has elicited strong reactions, with supporters seeing it as a necessary correction to environmental extremism, while critics view it as an attack on conservation efforts and biodiversity. While mind control victims view it as an attack on conservation efforts and biodiversity. Let me fix that for you. All right. President Trump's putting people over fish. I mean, this is common sense, right? Executive order is a direct challenge to what he perceives as a misguided environmental policies aiming to prioritize human water needs in California over the water needs of an individual fish. This could alter the state's approaches to water management. It should. Agriculture and environmental conservation. Like, get your heads out of your asses. The long-term effects are, on the California ecosystem, water rights, and ongoing battle between development and conservation will be crucial to observe, which we will. California, just go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Go with the flow. Put those fires out and stop being stupid. All right. Okay. And let me just do this. real quick. Okay, I think we're good. All right, on to the next one. This one, ladies, listen up. This one's all about you. This one's for the ladies. This is for the ladies. Here we go, ladies. Defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. Let's read. President Trump has signed an executive order defending gender strictly by biological sex at conception, aiming to protect women's rights by ensuring sex-based protections in federal policies. It mandates changes in government documents and policies to reflect this view. And in other words, all of your silly little names and gender ideology is going bye-bye. Do you understand? It's going bye-bye. All right. So I hope you had your fun. Time for reality again. Purpose and policy. This executive order titled Defending Women from Gender Ideology, Extremism, and Restoring Biological Truth to the Federal Government. The order's primary aim is to assert the biological reality of sex over gender identity in federal policies, claiming to safeguard women's dignity, safety, and well-being, which it will. Criticisms of gender ideology. Well, we certainly do a lot of that here, don't we? The order criticizes what it calls gender ideology. Well, yeah, cultural Marxism, gender ideology, same thing, right? Critical theory, for allowing men to self-identify as women. Very convenient. Thus gaining access to women-only spaces and activities like women-only showers. It argues that this undermines women's rights and the truth of biological sex, impacting legal, social, and scientific spheres. Definitions and directives. Biological definitions, they define sex, women, men, female, and male, based on biological characteristics at conception, explicitly separating these from gender ideology. Yes, you are now separated. You don't get to overwrite language anymore. Policy changes. Agencies must enforce these definitions in all federal policies. That means off the record. What's wrong? Fraud. I got it. Not just, we get you. Just all right. So yeah, we're gonna erase that. All that means everything on applications is going away. You're not gonna be able to put down, make up your own gender or say that you're this and that. No more calling straight people cis. That's gone. Bye-bye. All the stupidity of Marxism is going to be gone from our federal government. Never should have been there in the first place. Waste of time, money, effort, and brain cells. Policy changes. Agencies must enforce these definitions in all federal policies, including the insurance of identifying documents. Yes, you won't be able to put silly things on your driver's license anymore either, which must reflect biological sex, right? Which is reality. Okay. Removal of gender ideology directs agencies to remove all policies, statements, and forms promoting gender ideology, replacing them with those recognized biological sex. Oh man, this is good stuff, right? At some point, we probably thought we were gonna be stuck with this shit forever, didn't we? Yeah. Happy days are here again. These are little things that make you smile. Implementation. Within 30 days, the Secretary of Health and Human Services must provide guidance and reflecting these definitions. Reflecting these definitions. Yes. The Secretary of State and Homeland Security, along with that's Marco and News Homeland Security, Christie, right? It's Christie. Yeah, Christie. So Marco and Christie, along with the Office of Personal Management, I'm not sure who that is, are to ensure that all government issued IDs accurately reflect biological sex. No more hootie booty. No more BS bullshitter. No more pan ban bullshit, right? Pan by, non-bi, XED, and that shit. Bye-bye. That was all just cultural Marxism anyway, so it wouldn't belong here. It was mind control. We're doing you a favor if you thought that shit was a good idea. We're doing you a favor, all right? We're freeing you from mind control right here. All right. Let's see what they say here. Implications and reactions. This order could significantly impact transgender rights. Could it? What does that mean? No, it's gonna. It will not. It will not affect anyone's rights. It will affect undue privilege and access. So yes, men dressed up like women, you will not be able to go into women's spaces anymore. You will not be able to force your words onto other people. And you have no longer have anybody come running to help you. So now you got to put your money where your mouth is. This ain't nobody has to sit and bow down and to your privilege, right? So yeah, goodbye. Supporters may see it as a return to traditional views on sex and gender, protecting women's spaces. While critics will argue it denies the existence and rights of transgender individuals. It's all about this transgender individuals, aren't they? Yeah, so stop the whole world for somebody who doesn't who ain't right up there. Let's stop the whole world for them and make the whole world about insanity rather than making it about sanity and providing real care for them, like a psychiatrist, right? President Trump's executive order marks a controversial stance, but not really, on the ongoing debate over gender and sex. And there's no debate. One is meant to destroy our society and it's cultural Marxism, and it has to go, and it is going right now. And the other is reality that we have all lived in for the entirety of humanity. So there's no debate on this. It's just that if you let bad people lead the country and get in charge who are brainwashed with this shit, and if you don't do something about it so that other generations don't come along and get brainwashed by it, this is what you get. And it can be a lot worse next time. This is just a taste of how bad it could be. Imagine if this stuff had stayed in for another 4 years. How about another 8? You wouldn't even be able to recognize this place. Parental rights would be gone, right? Free speech gone, thought gone. Dude, it would be so bad. That was just the first foot in the door right there. And thank God we're getting rid of it. Thank God it's going. Yeah, so there you go. Defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. Never should have had to define biological truths never should have had to defend biological truths to a point we had an executive order. Yep, that's what happens when your country is getting taken over from the inside, though, by a foreign ideology. And that's what happens when you don't take the ideological threat seriously and do something about it on the generational level. And we still have a possibility that could happen. We're not done in this fight, but we did push it back. So we pushed it back, right? Support on the movement when your science was outside of the box of reality instead of following the natural order. Yeah, but that was the idea. It was to destroy all institutions of sanity, right? Men dressed like women should not be an offense that requires psych evals and rehab. That's right. I said it. It should be. Well, that's what it used to be, because that's what it is. It is a misfire. It is when you have this many people on the planet, maybe it's just natural selection. I tend to think of it as I started thinking of it as maybe it's just natural selection. But then I realized that was a much more subversive thing at play. That was actually grooming people into these beliefs. And then it was on a larger scale, and then it had a political and ultimately a country-ending agenda behind it. So maybe it's not natural selection. But you got to think, everybody has fallen for this or got swept up in it somehow, one way or another. For the most part, it's been taken out of the gene pool. Now, what are we going to do with the next generation? Are we going to let them believe in Marxism and think that it's a good idea because some drunk old guy with a beard wrote a book and a bunch of idiots bought into it because they realized that it was a complete grift. That it was a way to grift entire nations into submitting to authoritarianism, to going against their free sovereign countries and leaders, to divide and conquer people with it. It's just a book. It's just a stupid ideology some idiot came up with who was influenced by people who wanted an authoritarian Bible, right? That would be dressed up in a mask of virtue. Oh, it's the proletarians against the freaking whatever. Who's the other guys? Bourgeois. Oh my God, the owners against you. It's you're the oppressed, and they oppressed you because they own things. That kind of bullshit. And now it's because your color and your gender and your lifestyle and your sexual orientation and all that shit. It ain't true. Nope. Never was. That's why I tried to get through to the crowd I was talking to and repairing history together. I was like, one day we end division by realizing it was always them against us. It's always the elitist against the people. It doesn't matter what color it was. They just used the color, race, gender, whatever to divide us in order to rule over us. And that's what they've done. And that's what this ideological subversion is all about. You dig at the wounds of the country. For some places it's religion, for some places it's something else. For here, we got race. All right. So anyways, congratulations, ladies, and all of us for taking one step forward to tackling the root cause issue of the control of language. And this is what this does. So it's a big step forward. Let's make sure it happens. Ding. And right alongside this, I got another one that goes with it like peas and carrots. Like peas and carrots. Ending radical, wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. All right. President Trump has issued an executive order to end what he called radical and wasteful diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in federal government, focusing on merit over identity in hiring and policy as the way it should be. The purpose of this policy, this executive order aims to eliminate what Trump describes as illegal and immoral discrimination through diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in the federal government. It criticizes these programs for fostering discrimination under the guise of promoting equality. Yes, that's wearing the mask of virtue. Background and critique. The order reflects on the Biden administration's push for DEI through executive orders like 13985, which we all remember well, which requires agencies to implement equity action plans. Trump's order argues these initiatives led to public waste and discriminatory practices, contrary to the principles of equal treatment under the law. Specific actions. Termination of DEI programs directs the Office of Management and Budget, with assistance from the Attorney General and Office of Personal Management, to coordinate the end of all DEI and related programs, including offices, positions, and mandates. Bye-bye. Employment practices. Federal employment practices will now reward individual merit, skill, performance, and hard work, explicitly excluding DEI factors in performance reviews and hiring. Wow. Now you really have equality. Now you're really being judged equally. Agency actions. Each agency head within 60 days, that's going to be March 20th or so, must terminate DEI offices and positions. Oh, equity action plans and performance requirements are related to DEI. I wonder how, these people are going to need jobs, aren't they? I mean, a lot of people out of work. I wonder if I can figure out a way to make money on that. I don't know. I won't. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's a good business opportunity for somebody who could maybe help these people transition into real jobs. Did you get caught up in a bunch of bullshit? Well, we understand. Sign up now to this website, and we'll help you figure out how to find a new career and something that actually will benefit you and isn't a bunch of bullshit. How to not live a lie. Go to notlivealie.com and sign up today. All right. Monthly meetings and policy reviews. Oh, we're not letting this one go. An assistant to the president for domestic policies will oversee monthly meetings with key officials to report on dismantling of DEI initiatives and ensuring compliance with this new directive. Yes, you will be meeting monthly, and we will be making sure it's getting done. Implications, and potential controversies. Well, this order could significantly alter federal hiring practices, making them more base and sound. That's all I'm going to say about that. We don't need to know the rest. President Trump's executive order to end DEI programs in the federal government marks a clear shift in policy direction, emphasizing meritocracy over what he terms as preferential treatment or undue privilege. This action is poised to reignite debates on how best to achieve equality in government operations. I don't think so at all. I think this actually is defining exactly how to make it fair. Merit. Work hard. Be good. Show up. All right. You're going to get it. So, yeah. Just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? How enjoyable is this? Home Depot will be hiring soon. Yes. About to be a big job boom in vacancies from, well, this is all federal though. So now private business has to follow suit, but this is federal. So it might not be a bad time to get a federal job. I don't know. I don't want to go into the office, so I ain't getting one. No, we no going into the office anymore. Nope. Trump can replace ones that they can replace the ones Trump deports. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So the DEIs that get fired from the government can go work at Home Depot to replace. This is all making perfect sense now. You get the job you're qualified for. Yeah, you can go be special at Home Depot or wherever, some other fine place of business to work a good job, to work a decent job. All right. Next up on the bat, how many got? We got about 3 or 4 left, and I think I timed this just about right for a 3-hour show, because Wolfie has to get off the bed here in a little while. We want to make sure he has time to take care of himself before he does that. Let's see. Make a dinner, take whatever you do before bed. Let's see. And along this line, see, this is where it starts to kind of bookend on, this one goes with this one, this one goes with this one, going into next, there we go. Going into next Thursday's show on Thursday, where I will continue this practice here. And I will go through all of the border stuff, and anything I didn't get to tonight. And then I'm probably going to have like one big conglomerate of just the little one-offs, right? Little one-offs. The ones that are like, hiring freeze. It doesn't take a lot of understanding to, we'll hit it at a high level, right? Hiring freeze, get back to work if you're in the federal government, return to the office. These are very direct kind of executive orders. They don't need a lot of explaining. But this one might, reforming the federal government hiring process and restoring merit to government service. Yes, that is right. President Trump signed an executive order to overhaul the federal hiring process, emphasizing merit, performance, and efficiency. This aims to eliminate the practice as seen as discriminatory, to streamline government services and recruitment. So this is basically going to go back and I think, for the most part, reinforce replace the DEI, right? So this is going to be the replacement for it. Meritocracy. Say it with me. Meritocracy. There we go. And this order aims to reform the federal hiring process, aiming to restore merit as a primary criteria for government service. So meritocracy. The order criticizes past practices of fostering discrimination and inefficiencies. Yeah, we've paid the price for DEI, haven't we? All right, background and problems identified. The order points to the recent years where federal hiring was influenced by what it described as discriminatory practices under the guise of the DEI. It argues that these have led to a decline in service quality, increased costs, and reduced morale amongst federal employees. Yes, most definitely. Key reforms: merit-based hiring. Agencies are to ensure that hiring, promotions, and evaluations are based solely on merit, removing considerations based on race, sex, gender identity, and sexual orientation. Oh, you mean, in other words, make it equal? Okay. Efficiency in hiring directs the Office of Personnel Management to simplify hiring processes, reduce time to hire, and eliminate unnecessary bureaucratic steps, aiming for a more direct and efficient recruitment. Do it. Performance over politics. The order mandates that performance evaluation should focus on individual contributions to agenda goals or agency goals, not adherence to political or diversity agendas. Yeah, just getting rid of all the bullshit. Bye bullshit. Implementation: within 90 days, agencies must review and adjust their hiring practices to comply with these principles. OPM, the assistance of the Attorney General, will provide guidance to ensure these reforms and implementations implemented legally and efficiently. Man, Pam's gonna be busy. Pam's got a hell of a job. There's a lot more to being an Attorney General than just going after the bad guys and being the America's top lawyer or whatever. Potential impact and controversies. This reform could lead to a significant shift in federal workplace composition, potentially I hope so, potentially increasing efficiencies and performances, but might also spark debates about diversity and representation in government. Yes, let's get rid of the weirdos. So President Trump's executive order on reforming the federal hiring process is a bold move to refocus government employment on merit and efficiency by aiming to eliminate what he views as politically motivated hiring practices. Yes, that were. And in fact, I would almost go as far as to say intentionally destructive hiring practices. The order seeks to enhance the quality and accountability of federal services. However, the implementation of these reforms and their impacts on the federal workforce, diversity, and morale will be crucial areas to monitor. I believe morale will go up, and diversity will, and by its true nature, true name, not the pissed on Marxist version of it, will stay the same. It doesn't matter who you're in, everybody's diverse. And that's the whole thing about the diversity thing. Everybody is diverse. What they're trying to say is not white. Not white, because white is the majority in this country, and they're going after the majority, the power base, right, in the country. They go after them. And that's how you break down the country. And it's not even, see, the elitists aren't racist. They're not. They hate and they believe everybody's underneath them equally. They're very fair. It doesn't matter whether you're white, black, whatever color you are, whatever you do. It doesn't matter. They will find a way to exploit it. And what they will do is they will turn everybody on the majority, because the majority is what holds them at bay. In our case, it's our Constitution or Bill of Rights and the white majority, right? And also the Christian, right? So they go after all these things. These are the things they go after. Think about it. What do we see in everything? It's always either it's about the color, right? It's about the religion, it's about God, about morals, right? Hold on a second. Or it's about, it's about these things. Sorry, I got distracted there for a minute. But anyways, these are the things they go after. And let's get on to the next one, since I've totally lost my train of thought. Here we go. This is a fun one. We got one more after this, and the timing just went great. So I'll do about this many more on Thursday. That should get us around about to all the important ones, especially the border ones. So if you enjoy this reading and how I'm doing this, my approach to explain these things, make sure you come back on Thursday and get some more. It's good for you. All right. Okay. Honoring America's greatness through names. President Trump has signed an executive order to restore names that celebrate American history. Oh, the Marxists are going to hate this. They're going to hate it because they got to tear down the culture. right? That's what I was talking about in the last one. I'm starting to remember what I was talking about. It's how they got to take down the majority. They got to take down. They got to rub it the salt in old wounds and rehash them, make them president again, and they turn everybody on the majority, the power base of the country, right? Which is whites, which is Christians, which is people who believe in the Constitution, their Constitution and Bill of Rights, right? Patriots. That's who they go after because that's the people that are holding them back from running their little tyranny, right? And where all the elitists come in and pretend like they're on the minority side as they use the hell out of them and exploit them and eventually line them up against the wall, right? Because that's the way useful idiots get treated when tyranny really takes over. A couple more runs of establishment people like that right now in this day and age, like we just had, it'd be all over. They'd be signing everything away. They'd be creating some kind of crisis and signing everything away. And they'd be able to point to the fact that we did it to ourselves. And like, now what? Well, we'll come save you. All right. Enough about that. Okay, here we go. Restoring names that honor American greatness. So yeah, this includes renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So I guess it's official, huh? And reinstating Mount McKinley, highlighting figures like President McKinley for their contributions to America. I didn't even know that happened. What did they change it to? What was the name they changed it to? Well, maybe we'll figure that out here. Purpose and policy. This executive order titled Restoring Names That Honor American Greatness. The order's goal is to ensure that national landmarks and geographic features honor the contributions of American heroes, emphasizing culture and history's historical significance over political correctness. Historical context. The order critiques the previous administration for decisions like the renaming of Mount McKinley to Denali. What is that? Why would they change it to Mount Denali? Arguing these actions neglected the legacy of notable American figures like President William McKinley, it seeks to reverse such decisions to honor those who significantly shaped the U.S. Yeah, Denali. What is that? Is it they changed it to the local name? They just wanted to get McKinley out of there. That's some petty shit, isn't it? The Denali McKinley thing is wrong. I feel people that in that state should decide what their landmarks are probably. Yeah, but you know what? Biden didn't. Biden decided for them, so now they can take it on their own. So Biden was the one. They changed it back to Denali, I believe. They never should have changed. Never should have named it McKinley, as it disrespects the native culture there. At winning exactly T3, Denali is the original name, which the Alaskan daughters. Okay, I don't know much about it. Whatever. Call it whatever you want. But if the Biden administration made him change it, that's different. But how about this one? Gulf of America. Was renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America to recognize its integral role in American history. Mount McKinley orders to reinstate the name Mount McKinley for North Americans' highest peak, reserving its naming to Denali by the Obama administration did that. But I guess it's North America's highest peak. I don't know, man. I don't got a dog in this fight. Call it whatever you want. But I like Gulf of America. I'm all for rebranding that. That sounds pretty good. Hang on a second. All right. Board on geographic names calls for a review and potential reappointment of members to this board to ensure names will reflect American heritage and values. Directs the Secretary of the Interior to implement these changes within 30 days. Potential implementations. Yeah, we know what that's going to be. So we got to get the idea here. There's not a lot to go with this one, but that's it right there. And the last one we're going to cover this evening, it's going to work out just great, is a big one for us here. Wasn't that a local name that just changed it to the indigenous name? Was it always McKinley? I love the Gulf of America. Yeah, I don't know much about it. We'll let the people who have a dog in the fight fight the dog. All right, here we go, guys. This is the last one we're gonna do this evening, then we're gonna get on out of here. But this one is a big one. It's one we've been waiting for, and it's one we know very well. Establishing and implementing the president's Department of Government Efficiency. Here we go. President Trump has established the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, to modernize federal technology, streamline government operations, and increase accountability, led by Elon Musk. The primary goal is to overhaul federal technology software and software to improve government productivity, efficiency, and accountability. You can bet they're going to be using AI if Elon's in charge. The initiative is spearheaded by Elon Musk, indicating a significant focus on the innovations and technologies. Background and justification. The order criticizes the current state of federal operations for being inefficient due to outdated technology and bureaucratic red tape. Yeah, you can replace a lot of bureaucrats with an AI. It aims to address, doing little things like little tasks and stuff. It aims to address these issues by integrating modern, efficient systems that can better serve the public and reduce costs. Structure and functions. Reorganizations of the USDS, the U.S. Digital Service, is reconstructed to lead this initiative with the establishment of DOGE teams in each agency composed of tech experts to drive modernization. So it's going to be like some agile project management system. Get out your JIRA tickets. Modernization initiatives. Plan includes a software modernization initiative to enhance software quality. I guess you're probably going to get up on Windows XP. Network infrastructure and IT systems across government agencies, promoting interoperational data integrity and efficient data management. I know what all that means. And I know what that's going to look like. And that's going to be a lot of fun for some people. There had some major bitch sessions. I bet you that. Temporary organization, a temporary organization with the USDS termed the U.S. DOGE Service Temporary Organization. Wow, what a clever name. Is set up to expedite the president's 18-month efficiency agenda. In 18 months, we'll be spending it a little bit longer because I'm over ambitious. I don't know. He does deliver early and over expectations. We'll see. 18 months is freaking. They were like, okay, get rid of all this shit. Just pull the data over into this thing. I already got it. Elon's just sitting there going, okay, we're gonna put it on this. All right, this is what we're doing. What? No, it's already done. What? It's already over there. He's not gonna be sitting around waiting for people to be like, well, I don't know. You don't understand what you're looking at, do you, sir? No, I don't. But I still don't know if this is right. Okay, well, why don't you go sit in the corner and shut up? Meanwhile, the data's already been like it's already like it's all about data. I mean, you just move the data to one place to another, right? You're gonna have the little outlets. Okay, could you get a little printout on your desk. Log into this. Oh, look, I'm just logging into this now. Yes, now everything is gonna populate for you. Now get to work. There you go. That's how it's gonna roll. Or it's gonna be utter hell. Now, how do we put this? Can you run an audit on these systems for me? And can you put it all in a spreadsheet and give us a presentation in like a week and a half? Oh, shit. All right. Okay, then we need 10 people to make sure this is okay. And we'll come back and we're going to go through each of this line by line and we're going to groom it so that it all makes sense to everybody in the room, most of who don't even understand what the hell they're reading them, right? That's important, though. That's the way you do business. Hey, Madcore, what's up? I'm speaking the language, man. I'm speaking the language. You understand what I'm saying? How you doing, my brother? How you doing? How's it going? You guys got some snow down there in Australia? It's snowing here. I said I feel for them. Having your heritage stomped over is soul crushing. Got some of that. You're still hanging on that Roman thing, aren't you? All right. Let's see. There we go. Did I do implementation? Okay. Yeah, temporary. Okay, we'll start here. Agency head must select their Doge team members within 30 days and ensure coordination with USDS and advising on implementing the efficiency agenda. I wonder if they're hiring. I might go look for a job. I ain't going into the office though. The USDS administrator is tasked with leading these efforts with a clear timeline set for temporary organizations to conclude by July 4th, 2026, when we have our grand I don't know, it's not a bicentennial, it's a centennial or grand centennial world fair that's going to be highly criticized and probably a complete disaster. It might be great though. It might be like you go there and you see like flying cars and you see like all kinds of cool shit like that. So it could be really good, especially if they put Elon in charge of it. Potential impact and challenges. This could revolutionize how the federal government operates, potentially leading to cost saving and better service delivery and more responsive government operations. Let's just leave it at that. And let's put it in Elon's capable hands, and we'll see what we get. You know, at the end of the day, Trump still has to sign off on it. President Trump's creation of the Doge represents a significant push towards leveraging technology for better governance. With Elon Musk at the helm, the initiative promises to bring innovative solutions to long-standing issues of government inefficiency. The success of Doge will hinge on its ability to navigate the complexities of federal bureaucracy, integrate new technology efficiencies, and maintain public trust in government operations. This order sets the stage for potentially transformative period in how the U.S. federal government functions. And as we go, shall go them all. All right, so that's Doge. And that's our last executive order of the evening. However, I do have some more news to report on this, as people may have heard and have reported on this channel right here. Our good friend, Vivek Ramaswamy will not be part of Doge going forward, though he was implemental in setting it up. Let me see. Did I save anything on this? I think I did. And I do have one little thing at the end here too, about the resistance that was out there. Is this the one I wanted? Oh. I don't know. But anyways, I'm not gonna play anything to go with it. I'll save that for this what I'm gonna do next. So anyways, he's gonna go on and get ready to run for governor of Ohio, or maybe Senate and then governor. One of the two. Right? I believe it's governor, but it doesn't matter because he's on his way. And if what's works out best right now is that he does this part, then that's what needs to happen. It's only going to help build his resume up and prepare him to be president one day, which I think is going to be a good idea. I swear I had something else in here on this that was really good about what he said. Let me make sure. Give me 1 second to make sure I don't have it. I may have saved it for. I don't know why I'd save it for another show. Executive orders and resistance. I do want to play this. Okay. I'll check back through my history. Sorry, guys. I thought I had that in the list. I'm like, man. It's got Vivek. Was it on the X? Hold on. Maybe it was that. Maybe that's where I saw it. Maybe that's what the problem is. Let me scroll back here. The X here. And see. Benny had a kid. Congratulations, Benny. Oh man, how long did this happen? No. Anyways, so I can't find it. It doesn't matter unless I put it in a folder. No, not that one. This one. All right, folders, bookmarks. Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Nope. Okay. So I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Anyways, Vivek is not going to be going forward with Doge, and that's fine. He helped get it set up and rolling, and now it's on its way. Where hold on. Now that it's on, it's John Fetterman. Why do I care what John Fetterman looks like? Oh wait, I gotta just scroll to the bottom. Here we go. All right, so I'll just read this. I'll read the statement. Right here, I'll read the statement and then we'll talk about it real quick. All right. It was my honor to help support the creation of Doge. I'm confident that Elon and team will succeed in streamlining the government. I have way more to say very soon about my future plans in Ohio. Most importantly, we're all in to help President Trump make America great again. Yeah. So there we have it. That's it. Say anything else? Dawn of a new golden age starts Monday. Look, check him out. He's having a great time, living his best life. So yeah, I think that he's going to be running for office, and to do that, he needs to there's a team. He needs to get himself ready for that because he has to shift gears, right? Whether it's going to be he takes the role of senator, he will be running for governor. He could do both. He could actually do both. I could see him kind of like jumping through real fast. You know, I don't know which comes first right now, but I will say that whatever experience he gets is going to be awesome. He will do the great job at it. It will be beneficial to America, and it will help build him up and get him better known for presidential runs down the road. And even if the plan is to do JD for 8 years and then him for 8 years, that's fine. By then, we could really have made a difference. I mean, honestly, and that's our lifetime right there for the most part, for most of us. That's our lifetime on the way out. What was that? We got 4 here, going to 8, 16, you know. And so by the end of that run, if we had these 3 guys back to back, dude, things could look phenomenal. Things could look phenomenal. In fact, we may even live longer because of it. You never know. I hear he's going to run for governor of Ohio. In Ohio, it would be great to have him. But I mean, to do that, you can't. I mean, they're saying he could do both, right? I think if he wants to do a really great job, he needs to just focus on one thing or another. You have to get funding. You know, you have to get your team together. It's going to help you run for a governor. You're going to have to get the talking points right. You're going to have to go out there and talk to people and do rallies and make partnerships and pick staff. And I mean, you got to do a lot of stuff to get ready for that job. And Vivek doesn't take anything laying down. So he's going to go out there and do his best job. Anybody trying to say it's about anything else, I don't know. Some people may think it's because of H-1B visas or whatever. I don't think so. I don't think, you know, one thing Vivek is not scared to do is have a conversation about something with anybody at any time, in any place. So I wouldn't think twice about that. I wouldn't worry about it. And let's close here on a high note. Let's close here. Well, I mean, they've all been high notes tonight, haven't they? Let's close here on a funny note. And this is just the state of the world right now. I think I love this if I can find it right here. The end of the resistance. Because evidently, and I'm running this in support as well, because the liberal hive mind has been having some channel issues. And he's been getting a lot of limited, like I do too. Maybe when I play his stuff, I get him too. But I'm not gonna kneel down. And I've always liked the stuff. So let's close out with this great piece he just did. At winning speed, of course. Okay. It's the end of the resistance. Nobody showed up. Nobody showed up to protest. Oh, what a shame. Oh, what a shame. This should be pretty good. We'll get some pictures of the non-protest.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. So what happened? There was all this talk all over TikTok from all the blue anon leftoids telling us that the Trump inauguration was going to get messy. They were going to head over to DC and cause a ruckus. And supposedly it was going to be massive, huge. Yeah, well, I guess in the end, it didn't exactly play out that way, or it isn't going to play out that way. You know, it feels like the left is still deluding itself into believing that they're the cultural majority, that they still hold the cultural power to influence and mobilize on the street efforts and activism efforts. But the more time goes by, it seems as though this pathetic activist grift era is slowly coming to an end. You know, just like the left can't seem to mobilize people to get to the polls, it seems as though they're also struggling to mobilize people on the streets for their big resistance protest moments. The story continues. It's the complete, utter collapse of the left. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on, but today's video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's play that clip first. This video is brought to you guys by American Hartford Gold.
Look at him with the
folks,
sponsorship.
Deposited into your IRA. Said it's a no-brainer.
Sponsorship in there, man.
Another massive L for the usual blue anon suspects. Remember the infamous Women's March? You know, with the ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Like that wasn't planned, right? That wasn't
ridiculous pink hats. Yeah, that pink hat movement. Well, it seems as though they're on their way to hitting rock frickin' bottom. Donald Trump wins the 2024 election. He's about to become the president of the United States once again for his second term. And after all the fear-mongering about women's rights, abortion, Donald Trump supposedly being a misogynist, yada, 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 you'd think now would be their time to shine, right? Now would be the time where they would mobilize and show us exactly what they've got, just like they did back in 2016, where they claimed 1 million people showed up in DC to protest Donald Trump. Now, I highly doubt that number is valid, but certainly back then there was a lot.
No, they called it a women's march. Then the protesting Trump thing didn't happen until you got there. So we're telling most people it's just a women's march. That's how they got so many people to go.
The people that showed up in DC, well, the Women's March is back, and let's just say they're not hitting their familiar target. Yeah, not even close. In fact, it seems as though they were unable to mobilize and even hit the very conservative target that they initially set and presented to the city when they looked for their permit, or rather asked for their permit. We got this tweet from Johnny MAGA. He writes, "Holy smokes,
Johnny
the
MAGA
organizers of the Pink Hat Women's March asked DC for permits to allow for 50,000 protesters this year, but police say they expect just 25,000 to show up. They claim to have had 1 million show up in 2016. The resistance is dead." Take a look.
Morning, Mike. The crowds are beginning to pour in here, and the big question is, what kind of numbers are we going to see? 8 years ago, there were 1 million people out for the Women's March the day after Trump's inauguration. This year, expecting very different numbers. The organizers asked for 50,000 permits. Police say they expect just about 25,000. So we'll see what kind of a crowd turns out. They're going to be in 3 different groups. They're going to meet in 3 different parks. Basically, it's pick your own issue and pick your own park, whether it's immigration, abortion rights, or climate change. We talked to some people asking them why they're coming out today.
I am out here because I want to make sure that everyone knows that they are important, they are valued, they have a right to exist, and to show
you could have done that from home,
so that we can all get along together. There does not need to be so much hate in the world.
These 3 groups are going to march down towards the Lincoln Memorial. They're going to meet here, speakers and some songs. It should wrap up early this afternoon. So far, pretty quiet here.
It's freaking over. The activist grift era is over. The times of these people gaslighting us into oblivion has officially come to an end. They had their moment in the spotlight, they squandered it, and now nobody wants to be a part of their movement anymore. And it's really a mystery as to why that is.
What is a woman? Well, they're going to have hormone replacements. I would say your hormones are probably what make you a woman for the most part. You can be born a woman, but, you know. What is a woman?
A woman is a powerful, strong, like we're all together for each other.
What is a woman to you all?
Someone that identifies as a woman.
Yeah, it's no mystery at all. You know, the left loves to pretend as if they're all educated PhDs. They're so brilliant and progressive and leading to conversation. But come on, I think the reality at this point has been exposed. And it seems like the verdict is in. Nobody wants anything to do with any of it anymore. They're expecting 25,000 people. I mean, that's just pathetic. And really what I think it's emblematic of is the total collapse of their narratives. You know, all the gaslighting nonsense that I mentioned earlier, all the fear warmongering. It's all come to a crashing end. Nobody believes them anymore. People are done with the dramatic nonsense. Like that kind of thing. Who is that convincing? Nobody. These screeches that our rights are being taken away. We're going to be put in camps. The country's going to fall to dictatorship. It's just all so played out. It's so disingenuous, and it's so obviously detached from reality. And that seems to be what's kicking in. Democrats built this whole narrative. That's what people are protesting against, right? The threat to our democracy. You need to take this serious. It's a call to action. Head to DC to protest on the streets because our democracy is at stake. Well, who's buying that anymore? No one. That's the answer. That's the simple, clean, correct answer. Nobody cares anymore. Even the same far leftists who parroted the talking point a couple months ago, when they were full on shilling for Kamala Harris and the deep state DNC, even those people, even the Democrats' greatest media allies, can't do it anymore.
I never called Donald Trump a fascist based off anything I heard from Democrats. I said that because of things I heard come out of Donald Trump's mouth. I don't even know if I believe it anymore.
What the hell?
And you know that only because
what's this guy over here doing? What is this guy over here doing? Is he gonna blow? Is he blowing in between like takes? What is going on here? This Charlemagne the Goof. Like, what is going on with these people, man? Do you know you're out of business? I know people, some dumbasses will still tune into you, but you're hanging around idiots like that. You don't see there's a problem with that.
Only because of how they're acting. Maybe it ain't that much of a.
Is that what this is? What Nick Recade's been up to? Is this the new Drex? I mean, what's going on here?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They lied to you.
They're jumping ship, and it's no wonder why. Donald Trump got elected, and guess what? The sky didn't fall. No, instead what happened is the stock market rallied, the border problem is fixing itself, the war in Israel is coming to an end, the Ukrainian conflict is very likely to start ameliorating quite soon. All of a sudden, the world is healing, and I think a lot of people are sitting back and realizing, maybe it was all a bunch of bullcrap. The resistance is officially over, and this era of mobilizing these massive activist movements to basically intimidate and force your will on the people, well, it's completely over. Democrats took a step too far. Protests have been part of American history for a very long time. But back in the day, generally, these protests had actual merit. They were fighting for something truly important. They were movements that were necessary at the time. But nowadays, it's just activism for activism's sake. We have what's known as the professional activists these days. Obviously, academia has involved itself in this stuff. They've propagandized millennials and Gen
called mind control. Mind control. He knows this.
Z people to basically take on the activist as their newfound personality, and basically they've been used as useful idiots to promote the establishment's ambitions. The Democrats took it all too far. They made everything an existential crisis. Everything now requires on-the-ground activist pressure. But most of the time, they're either fighting for a completely misguided cause, or they're fighting for nothing, or Lord knows what. Like in this case, for instance. What is it, another abortion rally? Come on, nothing's gonna happen. It's already done, it's settled. The Supreme Court made its decision, it's back to the states, and Donald Trump has stated on multiple occasions that it pretty much ends there, and he has no intention of forcing a federal ban on the states. What are you protesting? What is this grave existential threat that must be addressed? It's a waste of everybody's time. People have realized it, and apparently, even many of the former activists and protesters have realized it as well, because they're not friggin' showing up anymore. The resistance is over, and all this mobilizing and activism that Democrats have engaged in, it seems has hurt their cause more than helped in the end. It's all completely backfired so spectacularly, and that's basically the conclusion. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next.
All right, we'll see you, dude. Thanks for that. Hope your channel is doing better. And I hope that for a lot of reasons. So mine doesn't do bad either. See for showing your stuff. But anyways, guys, wow, what a great night, huh? We got through a lot of executive orders. We still have a lot more to go. But I will put together those summaries for you guys and make it as entertaining as possible as we educate ourselves on the way our world works. They can think about how many people don't even understand what executive orders are, how they work, what's going on with them, what's important to keep in the fight to make sure that they get to go through and why they're important. But even understanding the premise of them, their background, and things like that. I think are really important. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I really appreciate each and every one of you being here. I always do. You guys are amazing. And tomorrow night, make sure you got your zebra badges handy because we're going back into the weird, wild world of UFO alien conspiracy grifters. Evidently, as the battle of the grifters continues between Jake Barber and Stephen Greer. And will these worlds cross over? We're going to find out some more about that. We're going to check out the rest of that podcast 2 and some of podcast 3 from Greer. See what the kind of bullshit he's coming up with. The reason why we're looking at you've got to wait for the excuses to come rolling out, right? The excuses will come rolling out. And I want to see how much more he plays into this Barber thing when Barber's not acknowledging him at all. And when will the questions start coming at Greer about Barber? Like, you're saying this is your guy, right? You're saying this is your guy. Well, your guy doesn't seem to want to talk about you very much at all. And some of the things you're saying aren't adding up. So we're going to go back into the story again. I'll see if there, and the thing about Barber too, is that News Nation realized they bombed so bad on that interview. They realized how it came across and how people are looking at it now. And so they held off on their next interview with him. So I don't know when that's going to come out. I'm going to do more digging and research before the show to see if something happens to pop out at the last minute. But we do have a good old fun evening, good stuff in store for you for Unveiling Reality. I guess we're just adding on to that UFO alien rabbit hole playlist and the Degrifting Greer playlist. We're just having some fun with that stuff. While it's hot. Every time they bring it up, we're going to talk about it. And it's usually pretty. I'm wondering how fast it'll die off. That's the other thing I really want to pay attention to too. Is how fast does this die off now? Now the elections are over. They got all the executive orders are in. All this other stuff. Will they continue to be a distraction? And where is the report on the drones? Like, aren't we supposed to get a report here about the drones? I would expect that to be coming out very shortly. No one's going to let him forget that. And I'm imagining he's just getting a handle on it right now and is going to release the information soon. If not, I guess we'll have to ask him for it. Why not? All right, guys. That's what I have for you this evening, and that's what's coming up next. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. All the members of the Winner Circle for taking care of the channel and being part of it. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm going to get on out of here, and I will talk to you soon, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Have a great evening. And until next time, stay based and keep on winning.
If you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands. If you've lost faith in humanity, and this is your villain origin story, if you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands.